around 90 degrees, but John, we were down there before kickoff and it feels like about 105.
You know how you tell when it's a hot one? No, none of the players are out there for pregame warm-ups. They stay in the AC of the locker room, and that was the case here today.
Eagles win the toss. They will receive, and there is a look at the man of the minute, Michael Vick. Of course, we will be talking about him a lot today. Josh Scobie will get it going for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ellis Hobbs is deep. Short kick, very short. Hobbs at the 10. He's got a breakout. Hobbs, one man to beat, beats the kicker, and across midfield, no flags, and an excellent opening possession return by the Eagles, finally pushed out by Tyron Breckenridge, but a return of 46 yards.
Ellis Hobbs got the game ball on defense as a cornerback for his work against Calvin Johnson and the Detroit Lions, but making his impact early on here, putting the Eagles in great field position with a terrific return to start the game on the road.
And it'll be great field position for Michael Vick, sporting a 105.5 quarterback rating. That is fourth in the NFL, but he's gone over the 100 quarterback rating the last two games, and most importantly, John, not only has he made the big plays, avoided the sacks, no interceptions.
He's played near flawless football, and the key for him is just to see if he can continue it.
Keep your eye out on LaShawn McCoy as well. He's been very impressive. Right out of the chute. That's the completion to Brent Selleck. Selleck, leading receiver last year with 76 catches. Picks up 4, 2nd and 6. We've talked about Vic McCoy, averaging 6.7 yards per rush, 4 touchdowns in 2 games. They'll get the ball a lot to Selleck. Peters a little banged up last week along with Nick Cole, but Cole fighting a bad knee. We'll go ahead and start. 2nd down and 6. Vick will take it. Shotgun snap. He'll come up about 2 yards shy of the first down. Darrell Smith on the tackle. He'll get 3. Defensively, the Jaguars, you'll see him on the outside there. Aaron Campman, remember him from Green Bay, just came over as a free agent. He's going to give them a little bit of push on that outside. They're not getting what they want out of Derek Harvey, the #1 pick 2 years ago from Florida. Morrison inside, brought in a trade with the Oakland Raiders. Considine, the former Eagle, rounds out the secondary. Rasheed Mathis, very active corner. He's up top. He's man-to-man. The hurried throw in and out of the hands, intended for Deshaun Jackson. And he can't hold on.
Well, Jack Del Rio, when we asked him, what's your approach going to be against Michael Vick, he clearly stated it's not going to be a passive one. And right away, Jack Del Rio, who's calling the signals now for this Jacksonville defense, brings the heat on Michael Vick and makes a big 3rd down stop for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is Sav Rocca, the Australian native. He's got the best hang time in the NFL. He'll be punting this one away. He'll try to kill it inside the 10-yard line. Mike Thomas, who led the team in receiving last year, is deep. Gets it up high. He'll force the fair catch, like I talked about, at about the 9-yard line. And it'll be a look at David Garrard, who has been struggling. 4 interceptions last week in that loss to San Diego. They lost 38-13 after beating up on the Denver Broncos here. And he has said, it's on me, I've got to do a better job. Maurice Jones-Drew, as John Lynch pointed out, he's got a bad ankle. He's usually the guy they pound the ball with. So we'll see how they handle that. Up front, Monroe, Smiley, Meester, Waneri, and Britton. 1st and 10. They'll try Jones-Drew. 5th-year man out of UCLA. He's going backwards. The Eagles defense this year giving up more points in the NFL than anyone, 29.5. They've got Brandon Graham, that's the rookie. 13th overall pick. Stuart Bradley, he had the concussion against Green Bay in the opening game. They held him out last week. He is back. Nate Allen is interesting. 2nd-round pick out of South Florida. 2 interceptions in 2 games. And he's pulled them off in the red zone. Big plays. 2nd down and 9. Going back door. Jones-Drew. And it's a 1st down, Jaguars. a pickup of 17.
Well, Ronnie, if you had any questions about the ankle, it looks like MJD answered them right away. And you talked to the Philadelphia Eagles, Stuart Bradley or Sean McDermott, their defensive coordinator. They talked about Maurice Jones-Drew as a runner, and the first thing that popped up was his cutback ability, and it comes to fruition right away. Sean McDermott says, let me tell you something, this guy knows where the cutback lane is, has tremendous vision.
Second longest rush of the year for the Jacksonville offense. They'll go to MJD again. He'll try that left side one more time. Remember last year, he's brought down by Mike Patterson. Jones-Drew was third in the AFC in rushing, over 1,300 yards, 15 touchdowns. Third only to Chris Johnson, who had an amazing year, John. We talked about him quite a bit. And Thomas Jones.
Ron, regardless how many years you played in this league at the quarterback position, you have 4 interceptions, you're going to be a little shaken. And the Jacksonville Jaguars trying to take some of the heat off David Garrard early by pounding Maurice Jones-Drew. It's exactly what they told us they would do. Philly, on the other hand, was expecting it, and Andy Reid said one of our keys, we got to be able to survive the pounding. They're coming early. We got to be able to stop it.
The Eagles and Jaguars have met only 3 times, and the Jags have won all 3 meetings. These teams met in the preseason, not only this year, but last year as well. And there's a look at Garrard's numbers. Thus far, Jones-Drew has touched the ball the entire time, 3rd and 6. Eagles bring 5. They dump it out. And that's a first down. That's Rashad Jennings. That's the backup. And John, we talked to him the other day at practice. He said, yeah, I would like to get the carries, a little bit more action with the ball. And we may see him with the ankle injury to Jones-Drew.
And this has kind of been the story for the Philly defense. They've been getting heat. You see Trent Cole put the pressure on. They have really struggled covering tight ends and running backs. Last week it was Javid Best of the Detroit Lions that absolutely torched them. They felt like having Stuart Bradley back would help, but right away the Jacksonville Jaguars try to expose that weakness in the Philly defense.
Jennings stays in. He'll get the toss. Looking to cut it up, and he's hit hard. Akeem Jordan was there. 4th-year man out of James Madison.
One thing that jumps at you when you see Rashad Jennings, we had an opportunity to visit with him on Friday, just how big. This is a big, impressive looking athlete, the antithesis of Maurice Jones-Drew, who stands all of 5'7". Rashad Jennings, a good 6'1", probably more like 6'2", and may have to come to play here with the condition of Maurice Jones-Drew's ankle early on.
He blocked the punt last week in San Diego. 7th play of the drive on this 2nd and 8. Pressure outside, sack. Darryl Tapp, brought in a trade with the Seattle Seahawks, came around the corner along with Jaquay Parker.
And you're going to watch Jaquay Parker from the left end rushing against Eben Britton. And he really is the guy who forces David Garrard up in the pocket. And it's Darryl Tapp who's active for the first week for the Philadelphia Eagles, acquired in a trade from Seattle. But Jaquay Parker, in not that many snaps this year, has had incredible production for the veteran, 10-year vet for the Philadelphia Eagles.
He comes with the Buffalo stance, a loss of 9. 3rd and long, rounded up quickly on the outside, not even close. Excellent play there by Quinton Michael. Working on Maurice Jones-Drew, and that'll bring up 4th down. And John, we had a chance to talk to Dick Geron, the defensive back coach for the Eagles, and they're very impressed with Quinton Michael.
Quinton Michael's a good football player. People up in Philly know this. It's one of the great stories, too. Undrafted free agent 8 years ago out of Boise State. Paid his dues as a special team player. Now has turned himself into a Pro Bowl player at the safety position.
Podlesh will punt it away to Deshaun Jackson. Last year, the Eagles were #1 in the NFL in punt return average. That's a bad punt. He's going to let that one go. We have some decent field position at about the 29-yard line. Michael Vick, the Eagles coming up.
On Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Ron Pitts, John Lynch, we're back here in Jacksonville last week against Detroit. His first start in a couple years for Vick. Very impressive numbers, 21 of 34 for 284, the 2 touchdowns we talked about. And of course, you can never forget about his rushing average, 7.8 yards a rush. The good plays you know about, you see on the highlights. It's the bad plays that he gets you out of that people probably don't talk about as much as they should. They'll go to the ground game and almost broken by LaShawn McCoy. Andy Reid, Eagles head coach, second longest tenured head coach in the NFL next to Jeff Fisher. He said the Vic decision was undeniable, as you already alluded to, John, after we looked at the film.
Well, yeah, and like I said in the open, he watched the same film. Michael Vick, it's hard to play any better than he has. He still, though, mentioned that he does have a lot of faith in Kevin Cobb, thinks he's going to be a big-time quarterback in this league, and hopes it is for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Second down and 4, bunch formation. They'll go back to the ground game, and I think they brought too many Jaguars inside on the formation. Not a lot there for McCoy. He's going to be about 3 yards shy. He picked up 2. Last week, the Eagles holding on to beat the Detroit Lions 35-32. Sluggish in the first half. They were up 34-17 with 5 minutes to go and really had to fight to secure the win. But a big first win for Mike Vick. 3rd and 2. Flags go down. Vick on the rollout. He'll pick up the first easy, but this may be coming back. We'll check in with our referee, Jeff Triplett, for the first time today.
Offside. Defense, number 59. That penalty's decline. Result of the play, first down.
No, it's not coming back. Offside there on Larry Hart, the 5th-round pick out of Central Arkansas.
And, you know, a lot has been chronicled in the last couple weeks of Michael Vick's instincts growing as a passer. But this is something Andy Reid said he will never take away from Michael Vick, and that's ability to run the football. We asked Michael about those instincts. He said, yes, my instincts are growing as a passer, but he said, I step back there, sometimes I step up and see wide receivers, sometimes I see green. Right there he saw green, and it translated to a first down.
Mike Bell checks in, trying the right side, hit hard by Terrence Knighton, the man they call pot roast. You look at the flip chart, John, he'll weigh in at about 335, and that could be debatable depending on the day.
He earned that nickname for sure, and he's one of the guys that Jack Del Rio, he was really pleased with the way his defensive line played last week. Terrence Knighton, pot roast, said played his worst game as a pro. He needs to play better. Jack Del Rio called him out.
Del Rio has said we have to be physical today. A pickup of 3, 2nd and 7. Vick in trouble. Vick sack. And the man we were just talking about, pot roast, he stirs one up that time.
Well, Jack Del Rio challenged Terrence Knighton, and Terrence Knighton lined up over the center guard, came through for Jack Del Rio. Aaron Campman causes Vick to step up, and there's Terrence Knighton waiting for him, delivering with the sack. And now the Philadelphia Eagles, who lead the league in sacks given up, give up yet another one.
The man who lost 45 pounds since last year gets some of that lost weight. They're moving forward with the sack. This is 3rd and long. Protection is good. A man late on the corner, it's caught. Deshaun Jackson, he's going house. Touchdown Eagles, no flags down. And you see the reaction there by Cobb, 61 yards. Playmaker to playmaker.
You see Michael Vick being congratulated by his teammates. An absolute dart he throws to Deshaun Jackson. And Deshaun Jackson, as an explosive and dynamic as a receiver as there is in this league. You see 9 touchdowns of 50-plus yards. This guy is a weapon. And from one weapon to another, it cashes in for a touchdown for the Philadelphia Eagles.
His 2nd touchdown of the season. The longest play from scrimmage for the Eagles thus far. They got the trigger man. They got the weapon on the outside. It's 7-0 Eagles.
Sponsored by Budweiser. Grab some buds and be a part of the Budweiser National Happy Hour on September 29th.
Ron Pitts, John Lynch, you just seen the Michael Vick show. 61 yards, the bomb, touchdown to Deshaun Jackson. Michael Coe was attempting the coverage. Tyquan Underwood back deep for the kickoff. He'll take it 2 yards deep. Gets out of one, maybe two tackles, squeezes up to the 23-yard line. Brought down by Owen Schmidt. Second NFL start since 2006. The Eagles are happy.
Fox is sponsored by the new 2011 Lexus IS, wheeled precision. By Panasonic, see what amazing looks like on the Panasonic Viera Full HD 3D TV. And by Sprint, the Now Network.
Deshaun Jackson before that catch averaging 20 yards per catch, and well, that's bumped up to about 25. Nothing like putting that big play threat in the hearts of a secondary. 1st and 10, gun formation for Garrard. He'll see a 4-man push. Zone coverage, Garrard in trouble. He'll go for his, nice move. He'll come up about 2 yards shy of the first down. Let's go back to the touchdown, John.
Let's take a look at this. 3rd down and long. They're going to put Deshaun Jackson in a bunch formation. He's going to run a corner route and memo to Jack Del Rio and the Jacksonville Jaguars. You have Rasheem Mathis, a Pro Bowl cornerback. Do not put Michael Coe, an unproven third-year player, on Deshaun Jackson, one of the most explosive players. And you see Kevin Cobb and Michael Vick, who are good buddies, congratulating each other on that touchdown.
Coe signed off the Giants practice squad last year, took a very bad angle. There's a bounce out attempt, a first down. That's Jones Drew as he cuts it inside, tackled by Quinton Michael. He picks up 5. But John, that goes back to the energy and excitement that Michael Vick brings to this team, and to a man, each player has said, not that they didn't feel this way 100% with Cobb on the field, but with Vick, they feel like they can strike at any time and make any play anywhere.
Well, and nothing, no disrespect to Kevin Cobb from the players either. They just said the way this guy's playing right now, it brings such an energy.
Corner blitz. They throw backside, and that one almost got lifted. Hobbs was all over it. Well, this week on Fox Saturday Baseball, the pennant race reaches its peak as the NFL East leading Phillies battle a Braves team trying to keep pace in the NL wildcard race. Plus, other games with playoff implications. Coverage of Fox Saturday Baseball begins this week at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox. And the Phillies jumped up there, taking control. Coming into this weekend, one of the best records in baseball. Jones Drew showing that ankle is holding up thus far. He pounds inside for a couple. That's a pickup of 2, 3rd and 8.
And early on, you're seeing Jack Del Rio, Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator for Jacksonville, sticking to their game plan. Jack Del Rio said, we will not be box counted. 8 guys in the box, 9 guys that we're going to run the football with MJD. But right now, the Eagles are doing a good job of limiting it, putting the Jacksonville Jaguars in 3rd and long situations.
6 carries on the day for Drew. 3rd and 8. A hot one across the middle, just a little high. Intended for Mike Thomas, and that'll bring up 4th down.
The large pass intended for Mike Thomas incomplete. 4th down and 8.
And David Garrard, as we mentioned, his confidence might be shaken. We were out at practice on Friday. It didn't look like the normal David Garrard that you see, who's immensely accurate and throws with great confidence. He didn't seem to have that confidence. Kind of surprising for a guy who's been so effective throughout his career as a player who protects the football. His confidence is a little shaken, and it's showing early on here today.
So Jeremy Maclin giving Jackson a rest. He'll take the punt return duties, called for the fair catch at the 16-yard line. More of Michael Vick, early fireworks here in Jacksonville, 7-zip. Well, John, you know Michael Vick very well. You played against him a bunch of times when you were with the Buccaneers and he was with the Atlanta Falcons. Your defense, led by Monty Kiffin, had success against his style.
We did, and I'll tell you why. I didn't know it was this good. But what we did, we played aggressive. We attacked him. We didn't mush rush. We didn't spy. We got after him, and we knew the play is never over. You got to get bodies to Michael Vick.
The throw outside, looking at the slot intended for Macklin.
And Ronnie, I'm going to show you how you do it. I'm going to take you back to school. This is back in 2002, our Super Bowl year. Now, it helps to have this guy, Derek Brooks, number 55. It also helps to have Warren Sapp up front. But watch the energy. Derek Brooks is going to spy Michael Vick, but look, they're coming like piranhas in water after Michael Vick. He's got nowhere to run. That's the kind of effort it takes to play against a guy with the athleticism. What Michael Vick has added to his game is his ability to step up, then throw downfield, eyes downfield. Now pick your poison. You come up, he's going to drop one behind you.
That's Bell on 2nd and 10, and Bell with a nice run. He'll be about a yard shy, maybe 2, of the first down. That's Russell Allen in on the tackle.
And back to Michael, you know, what he's shown this year is an ability that he's developed. He's matured into in terms of he's developed the instincts as a passer. When he's running, his eyes are always downfield. He's made a lot of big plays in doing that. He will suck up the coverage, and that's the challenge you have when you face a Michael Vick.
And here's a challenge for the Eagles, 3rd and 1. They flop the tight end. Quick pass. Selleck. Double check that. No, that's Smith. Owen Smith, the fullback. And he'll have the first down. So a quick play, nice looking play. And they'll move the chains.
One of the things that Michael Vick has been so impressive in his now 6 quarters of football is his ability to convert on 3rd down as a passer. His career, you see, a 51% passer, 60% on 3rd down this year, converting 53% of 3rd downs. That is extremely high conversion rate, and he has been absolutely unstoppable on 3rd down.
1st and 10 run. That's McCoy, and McCoy pounds inside. McCoy, the heir apparent now to Brian Westbrook. Some people questioned his size, listed at 5'11", 208. But boy, he's one of those downhill, hard-nosed runners inside. He's shown that thus far.
Well, and it's one of the things that Andy Reid really challenged LaShawn McCoy on. He said last year he was an east to west runner. This year he's north and south. Andy Reid really challenged him to go back, participate in their offseason program, get stronger. He said last year he was being tackled by arm tackles. This year, a different LaShawn McCoy.
It's a 2nd down and 6. 5-man pressure. That ball is tipped. Looked like he tried to hit McCoy on the crosser, and the Jaguars got a hand on it. Michael Vick talking about how he prayed for this opportunity to get another chance to walk out on the football field, and how special last week's win against Detroit was, because it was the first time that he was the starter. It was his show, and he delivered. This is a 3rd and 6. Play clock running low. They get it off. Pocket, and that one knocked up in the air. Ball intended for Deshaun Jackson, and if Jackson caught it, it was going to be a headache.
You look at Michael Vick, it's all about his feet, Andy Reid said. His feet are good right here. He delivers a catchable ball, really, to Deshaun Jackson. And Deshaun Jackson, a smaller guy going across the middle, he says, maybe not.
he reeled it in a little bit on that one. Selleck was in the area there. That's Mike Thomas back deep to receive the Rocca punt. Rocca leading the NFL in hang time, holding that ball up there, helping out the coverage team. A nice block there. There's a wall. Thomas going down the sidelines. A great return by Mike Thomas. And a big block by Tyron Brackenridge that sprung him. 53 yards on the punt, 41 yards on the return. Quarter winding down here, but an excellent return there by Thomas. That sets the Jaguars up with excellent field position. Ball spotted at about the Eagles' 43-yard line. Inside handoff to Jones-Drew, and Jones-Drew fights inside for a couple. Let's go to Los Angeles for an update on the Falcons Saints.
Deep in overtime, Matt Bryant's 41-yard attempt blocked, except New Orleans called a timeout to ice him. Falcons get a false start penalty, so he's backed up for a 46-yard kick, but still he makes it. And Atlanta gets the win in OT in New Orleans, 27-24. Both teams now 2-1. Ron and John?
All right, Kurt, a little drama there in that one, but the Saints finally going down for the first time this year. That's the end of the first quarter. Eagles 7, Jags nothing. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages. We're back here in Jacksonville. Ron Pitts, John Lynch, 7-0. Eagles with the lead. They hit on a big flat pass play, 61 yards from Vic to Deshaun Jackson. Gerard, he's going deep. He's got a man. Can he fit it in? No. Let's go to Los Angeles and Kurt Menefee for this game break.
The best player in the league no one talks about, Steven Jackson, leading the Rams in front of the Redskins. Look at the moves on a 42-yard touchdown run. It's the Rams' first rushing touchdown since November of last year, and that's the whole team. They lead at 14-0 in the first quarter. Ron and John.
Steven Jackson chasing Falk along with Eric Dickerson for the club's all-time leading rusher.
Steven Jackson, one heck of a player. As Kurt said, a lot of the league doesn't get the opportunity to see him because the Rams have been struggling, but one heck of a football player in St. Louis.
This is a 3rd down and 6. Gerard tried to do it by himself. Nothing doing. Pressure by the Eagles defense led by Stuart Bradley. The man well publicized for stumbling after the concussion opening day against the Green Bay Packers. Comes up big there.
Just look at all those numbers up in the box. A run's not going to work in that situation. You almost have to check out. As Jack Del Rio said, we are not going to be box checked. We're not going to let the amount of people get us out of our run game. But right there, 3rd down and 6, you need to get out of that. Get the ball downfield on a pass. Give yourself an opportunity at a 1st down.
And Trevor Law is actually the first man there to stop things up. Timeout by the Eagles now. So on a 4th down, they'll get the ball when we come back.
On Fox is sponsored by Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. By Ford. Drive one. And by Nike.
So the first 3 and out of the season for the Jaguars, and the turnovers had a lot to do with that, especially last week in San Diego. So that stat skewed a little bit. Jackson back in as a punt returner. Eagles looks like they're trying to bring some pressure. High kick by Podlish. There's contact. Picked up. Jackson was trying to get away from it, but he picks it up at the last second. A marker goes down. Sometimes you just get a feeling, and he got the feeling. Jeff Triplett and his crew talk things over.
And I think what they're debating, Ron, is that Deshaun Jackson signaled for the fair catch.
And then picked it up.
The ball hits the ground when picked it up, and we'll listen to Jeff Triplett as he gives the explanation.
Personal foul, number 10 of the receiving team. He gave an invalid fair catch signal and then blocked after that signal.
Yeah,
Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
Yeah, that is illegal. There it is. There's the block.
It wasn't much of a block. Little forearm shiver, but rules are rules. And Once you give that fair catch sign, you can no longer block.
So 1st and 10, Eagles backed up, ball on the 5-yard line. Vick out of the end zone. Plenty of time. Throws it across the middle, and it's incomplete. Intended for Macklin. And John, this is a chance now for the Eagles to gain some ground there in the NFC East. The Giants with a loss today. They go to 1-2, and the Cowboys with their first win, but they come down here in a game that, talking to Andy Reid, they really want this one with the big showdown next week against Washington.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's a team that they really, as you mentioned earlier, Michael Vick has sparked this team. They feel a tremendous amount of energy. They feel very good about their prospects. They knew coming on the road to Jacksonville would be a tough win for them.
2nd and 10. They'll give the bell inside. Not much. Kirk Morrison, 5 straight 100-plus tackle seasons out in Oakland. He comes up with the hit. That brings up 3rd and 9. A pickup of 1.
We'll see what Jack Del Rio's approach on a 3rd and long. He said he's going to give him a number of different looks. And you see Rasheed Mathis now locked up.
He's working on Joseph Avant. The throw outside. That one looked as though Vick's arm was hit coming out. The pressure there by Terrence Knighton. We've called his name a couple times today. That'll bring up 4th down.
Well, we mentioned Jack Del Rio called out Terrence Knighton. He didn't play well last week, and Terrence Knighton is certainly responding. The Eagles have had inconsistent play. Let's just put it simply, bad play in the interior offensive line. Andy Reid thought it would come together as these guys played together. He said they don't have the continuity, but right there, that's flat getting whooped by Terrence Knighton, who's extremely motivated and playing well today.
Mike Thomas deep. He took one back 41 yards. Didn't score, but a nice return. He's got plenty of room here. Makes a move at the 41. Heads north and squeezes it back up to about the 50-yard line. 57 yards on the punt, 11 yards on the return.
It's 2010. What happened to cloning ourselves? I mean, if we at Coke Zero can copy real Coke taste with 0 calories, why can't you have more
They have
use?
the foundation that I need. I mean, they had the bad one that made my skin break out, but I am not buying that.
Oh. Oh. We don't know how it would work. But we do know things can be cloned. I'm looking at you, scientists.
First is the first 4G phone. First is live video chat on the go. So you can be face to face, even when you can't be. Whether you're on 4G, 3G, and of course, Wi-Fi. First lets you stream live video to the web in 3, 2, 1. What will you do first with Evo, the first 4G phone? Only from Sprint, the Now Network.
How new is the new Edge with my Ford Touch? Well, you could never do this before. Hello. Or this. Or this. You definitely couldn't do this.
Play Kate's Mix.
Or this.
Temperature 72 degrees.
Say hello to the new Edge with my Ford Touch. Quite possibly the world's smartest crossover.
Critics everywhere are raving about Lone Star. There is nothing else like it on TV.
You bought in with my money, and I'm going to expect results.
A con man trying anything he can to live an honest life.
I want something more than that, Dad, and I always have.
Trust us, you'll want to see what happens next. Lone Star, all new tomorrow after House on Fox.
Well, Michael Vick had the one big play today, the big 61-yard touchdown to Deshaun Jackson. But other than that, the Jacksonville Jaguars have done a great job of keeping Michael Vick under duress. They've hit him, they've hurried him, and it's translated into 1 sack. But a great job by this Jacksonville Jaguars defensive line. Terrence Knighton in particular has been all over Michael Vick.
A defense that got very little pressure last week. And in that loss out west to the San Diego Chargers and Phillip Rivers. Eagles showing pressure. They bring it. They run the other way. Jones-Drew is out of there. He's still going. Jones-Drew looks as though he picked up a first down. Second, third, maybe fourth effort on that one. And a key block there by Greg Jones, a fullback.
Well, Maurice Jones-Drew brings unique skills, but the one thing I've always thought he brings is tremendous will. Watch him at the end of this run. A lot of guys go out of bounds, not Maurice Jones-Drew. Tremendous balance, going to fight for every yard. Great running by Maurice Jones-Drew.
Drew picks up 12. The ankle issues really have been going on since training camp. He's tried to downplay it here, but we saw him at the Friday practice, John. He really didn't do much. He'll get it again. And another strong run close to 5 yards.
Ronnie, this was one of the guys that I struggled with most in tackling, and another great safety. Eagles fans, you know that guy, Brian Dawkins, out in Denver now. You don't see Brian Dawkins go backwards when he comes to hit someone. That was week 1 here in Jacksonville. Brian Dawkins gets a load of Maurice Jones-Drew, and I watched that film. Brian Dawkins got up and said, what just happened? That doesn't happen to Brian Dawkins. This guy is a load.
Second down and 6. They adjust close on the outside. Drew again. And he may have picked up a couple. For a Raider update, let's go out to Los Angeles. And here's Kurt Menefee.
Well, after LaRod Stevens-Howling opened the game with a 102-yard kick return to put Arizona up, the Raiders come back. Bruce Gradkowski hooking up with Zach Miller, 22 yards on the score. And Oakland now leads it in the first quarter by 3. Ron and John.
One of the many quarterback changes around the league this week. Gradkowski subbing for Jason Campbell. Ryan Fitzpatrick for Trent Edwards up in Buffalo. Jimmy Clausen for Matt Moore in Carolina. And of course, the change with the Eagles. After Cobb was announced the starting quarterback, Vick is taken over. Throw inside to a guy that's been fantastic for the Jags. That's Mercedes Lewis, and Lewis will move the chains.
Well, Mercedes Lewis has been absolutely, as Jack Del Rio says, dominant thus far this year as a blocker, as a receiver. You talk to David Garrard, one receiver that he trusts. When he puts the ball out there, it's going to be Mercedes' ball or no one's ball is Mercedes Lewis. The Philadelphia Eagles try to counter by putting Quentin Michael on him, and it doesn't work. Mercedes Lewis having an outstanding year for Jacksonville.
The 2 UCLA Bruins starting to get it rolling here for Jacksonville. Jennings checks in, a throw across the middle. That one nearly intercepted. Well, tonight on Fox, it's Animation Domination. It's back with a killer 1-hour season premiere of Family Guy. It's the event that you'll be asking yourself, who done it? And someone won't survive the night, believe me. The Family Guy 1-hour season premiere, part of Animation Domination tonight at 9, 8 Central, right here on Fox. Garrard just one of the last 5 on his throws. The flip 90, a miscommunication. Jones-Drew didn't know the ball was coming. He gets wrapped up hard there by Darryl Tapp. That's going to be a big loss.
Well, Jacksonville's been pounding them inside. They try to go outside.
He wasn't even looking.
Maurice Jones-Drew wasn't aware that the ball was coming to him. And a misfire for David Garrard. Maurice Jones-Drew pays for it as Darryl Tapp comes with the big boom on Maurice Jones-Drew.
A couple plays today already from Darryl Tapp. That's a loss of 7. Third and 17. Look at the movement by the Eagles defense. Trying to confuse Garrard. End up only bringing 3, dropping everyone else. That one nearly intercepted. Asante Samuel. And it's interesting what David Garrard told us about Samuel. He said, I hate that guy because he looks right at me. He looks in the backfield. And usually, John, corners don't get away with looking in the backfield and playing coverage.
Yeah, usually at the cornerback position, you're taught to look at your receiver. Asante Samuel has long been a guy who's looked at the opposing quarterback and as a result gets his hands on a lot of balls. leading the NFL with 29 interceptions since 2006. Asante Samuel comes close to adding another one to his resume.
Scobie has been perfect for the season thus far. Boy, that one could have gone through from about 65. That's 51 yards. It's clean, no flags. We've got a 4-point game.
Okay, listen up. You want to know what it takes to have a big built Ford Tough event? Well, you got to have these bad boys. Ford F-Series, America's #1 selling trucks, 33 years running. They haul more, they tow more, and do more than other trucks. And now you save more. On F-150, get 0% financing for 60 months, plus another grand toward your trade-in on top of what it's worth. Talk about your payload. Hurry to the Built Ford Tough event before these bad boys are gone.
Every business day, Bank of America lends billions of dollars to individuals, institutions, schools, organizations, and businesses, working to set opportunity in motion. Bank of America.
What if you could see through the eyes of a killer? What if you knew who's next?
It wasn't a nightmare.
On October 8th, Wes Craven unleashes his first 3D event, My Soul to Take in 3D, rated R.
This breakfast bowl's amazing, eggs and sausage, just so. BK has great breakfast, bet you didn't know. Fruit salad!
The BK Breakfast Bowl, that's right, from Burger King.
It's extremely funny with a touch of sweet.
Make sure the section's not too high. I don't want to have to explain a hickey to daycare.
The all-new smash hit Raising Hope, Tuesday after Glee on Fox.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Burger King. Have it your way.
We spoke of the Jacksonville Jaguars defensive line being all over Michael Vick. This is Joe Colin, their new D-line coach. They brought him in to try to turn around a pass rush that last year had 14 sacks in 2009, a league low. They don't call him the D-lineman around here. They tried to change the culture. They called him the rush man, and today they've been rushing pretty darn well.
A marker goes down. That's Doric Calvin, the rookie free agent. He works his way back up to the 28-yard line, but that marker went down quick.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, illegal wedge, receiving team, half the distance to the goal, first down.
And Ronnie, we talked about the rushman. When you go to NFL facilities, you know, us football players, we aren't too smart. We need to have signs. You got the offensive line room, you got the defensive room, and not the D-line room here in Jacksonville. Now they call it the rushman. Everything's about getting to the quarterback. What have you done to get to the quarterback? You see it right there, pass rush. Live it, pass rush, and that's exactly what the Jaguars have done thus far. Joe Colin gets a lot of the credit from Jack Del Rio, Aaron Campman, anyone you'll listen to. This guy's a relentless coach who preaches getting to that quarterback, and as we mentioned, they've been very proficient at that today.
Reggie Wells checks in at the right guard spot for Nick Cole. Cole has been bothered by a knee. You're a Stanford guy now. Got to watch those not too smart comments.
I still need those signs.
Rolling out to his left, and a strike to Jackson. And talking to the Jaguars defense, that's another problem with a guy like Michael Vick is everything is flipped now. You're used to seeing play actions. You're used to seeing the offensive technique, even the tight end to the right side. Your left is a defense, but now it's flipped because he's a left-handed quarterback.
And Deshaun Jackson talked to that as well, his own receiver. He said the biggest adjustment for him is with Kevin Cobb, Donovan McNabb. He's always on the right side. He's had to adjust to now playing predominantly on the left side.
A look at the passing yards there, and 11 yards on that last reception. And Jeff Triplett going over now to talk to Jack Del Rio. There could be a challenge.
Jacksonville is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch.
Jackson close to the sideline there. And Del Rio not believing it's a clean catch.
They can't focus on winning if they're hungry.
Yeah, and we're always hungry.
So I take them to their favorite place, Pizza Hut.
We love this new Big Italy pizza.
It's almost 2 feet of their favorite pizza for just $12. Big enough to satisfy even their huge appetites.
This thing is so big.
Even we couldn't knock it all down.
Kind of like your open jumpers?
What?
You heard me.
Pizza Hut's new Big Italy pizza is only $12. Almost 2 feet of hand-stretched crust piled high with up to 3 of your favorite toppings. It's bigger than 2 mediums combined. Only $12 and only at your Pizza Hut.
Devin and Gentle hit the gap. C-O-O-M.
I am Iron Man. The suit and I are one.
In 2 days, the year's biggest adventure arrives on Blu-ray and DVD. Iron Man 2. Own it Tuesday on Blu-ray and DVD.
A real national pastime, saving money. And like baseball, people love their stats.
I started bringing my lunch to work. $50 a week in my pocket.
Here's a good one. State Farm insures 40 million drivers, more than Geico and Progressive combined.
I save because I'm accident free.
Of course, with so many ways to save, including discounts of up to 40%, having that many customers shouldn't be a surprise. So ask a neighbor about State Farm. Then call an agent at 1-800-STATE-FARM or go online.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the issue that Jack Del Rio wants the officials, Jeff Triplett, to take a look at is the right foot of Deshaun Jackson. And let me tell you, this is as close gets. The official, you see, is right there, had a good look at it. And Jeff Triplett, remember, he has to see visual evidence that makes him overturn. This was ruled a catch on the field. And look at that foot right there. Any part of that foot touches that white, he's out of bounds. And that really, to me, is too close to call.
Yeah, you look at that foot, boy. Look as though the toe is right on the line, but like you said, the call in the field is a catch, so it has to be clearly conclusive to overturn it.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Jacksonville has charged a timeout and their first challenge.
And I think that's exactly what happened. There wasn't enough evidence.
I think Jeff Triplett's looking at Jack Del Rio saying, I couldn't see it. It's that close.
And John, the official is right there. I mean, I don't think the official could be closer. He's looking right at it.
And I don't think Jeff Triplett under the hood, HDTV, expanded screen, all that
stuff, huh?
I don't think he could do anything but what he did.
1st and 10, gun formation. Jags lose a timeout on the challenge. There's a check down throw to McCoy. And McCoy hit out of bounds by David Jones.
You know, Ronnie, and I think it's going to be really interesting. We've talked about Michael Vick playing so well, so efficiently. He really hasn't been able, other than that one touchdown pass, 61-yarder to Deshaun Jackson, to really establish a rhythm, get a flow as an offense. And we'll see on this series if they can start to get that going.
I'll pick up a 5 on the play.
One of the things Andy Reid did mention is they felt like they had a lot of favorable matchups outside on these cornerbacks that they could attack. We've seen it early with Deshaun Jackson on Michael Coe.
And they split McCoy out wide at the bottom of your screen. Throw across the middle. It's complete. That's Jackson. And Jackson with a nice gain. Rashean Mathis on the coverage, but a huge gash there by the Eagles offense. That ball close to midfield, 25 big ones.
And we talk about Michael Vick becoming more of a comfortable as a pocket passer. He gets good time from his offensive line and accuracy. Throws a little behind Deshaun Jackson. You can put Michael Coe on him. I guess now they try Rashean Mathis, going to try to match him up, which I believe is a smart move. But Deshaun Jackson, underneath, up top, this guy is an explosive, dynamic receiver.
First and 10. Pressure on the outside. Vick in the pocket, throws, going deep. Got a man off his fingertips. Macklin touched it, couldn't hold on. And he definitely put a step on Jones.
Both the Jaguars defenders and Deshaun Jackson said, hey, the play is never over with Michael Vick. Watch him extend the play, set his feet, and really throw a nice ball. Gives Jeremy Maclin an opportunity. He extends plays. Good job by the corner there, pulling Michael Vick up. He throws a nice ball there to Jeremy Maclin, and Maclin really has to catch that football.
John, that's a perfect example of the new Vick versus the old Vick. He does not scramble around to run. He scrambles to keep his eyes downfield to throw the football. 2nd and 10. And as I say that, he decides to run, trucks 2 men, and gets close to the first down, but a marker is down in the area of holding. Russell Allen with the hit. That's usually in the area of holding.
Holding. Offense, number 76. 10-yard penalty. Feet, 2nd down.
That's Reggie Wells. Wells subbing in for Nick Cole. Cole actually injured his knee in practice before the Detroit Lions game. And he was iffy probable, as they say, as to whether or not he was going to go. He did come out the first quarter, but on this series subbed in by Wells. And Wells getting called. Wells brought in a trade from Arizona September 3rd. Now the penalty marches the Eagles back, 2nd and long. Quick handoff inside. That's McCoy. Tyson Alu. The 1st round pick out of Cal, number 10 overall, and on the stop.
Is Tyson Alu, the number 10 pick overall in this year's draft, has been a tremendous addition, along with Aaron Campman, a free agent. They've really bolstered this defensive line, the rushmen as they call them here in Jacksonville.
Michael Vick on 3rd down came into this game with a 115.7 out of 158.3 quarterback rating on 3rd. That's the best in the NFL. 3rd and long, 19. An early hit, incomplete, and that's got to be a flag on the former Eagle. Intended for Maclin, but Sean Considine got there way early. Considine, the originally 4th round pick.
Number 37, automatic 1st down.
By the Eagles back in 05, he gets tapped.
See Michael Vick put a corner route to Jeremy Maclin, and Considine does arrive early. Philadelphia Eagle fans are familiar with Sean Considine, and really I think right there you got to attack the ball as a safety. That ball's up in the air. Go attack the ball. Forget about the receiver. Go at that point, you become the receiver and go attack the football.
Well, John, that's interesting coming from you because you laid more guys out back there than darn near anybody, but you're saying in that situation, you got to switch your thinking and go for the ball.
There's nothing more valuable than that football in the National Football League.
Why can't we go to the beach?
Beechwood is commonly used to smoke cheeses.
Come on, Dad, for reals.
Are narwhals real?
What?
Really cute cat pictures.
Cat-friendly hotels in Idaho. Idaho?
Visit the Idaho Potato Museum!
Potato skins.
Can eat it first.
The dip.
Freak nasty.
You put your hand up on my hip.
When I dip, you dip.
Find the cure at Bing.com. It's not just a search engine, it's Bing, the decision engine from Microsoft.
Fox tonight. Family Guy asks, who done it?
You just gotta stay calm. With a killer in the house.
Killer in the house. It's the deadly 1-hour season premiere.
The murderer is one of us, and someone ate the last goat cheese tartlet.
Now I hope I die next.
One of these people won't survive the night.
Oh, really, Lois? I thought I might drive forward. I thought that might be a fun thing to do.
The Family Guy 1-hour season premiere tonight at 9/8 Central on Fox.
The Eagle down a few seconds ago was Jeremy Maclin. He walked off under his own power, appears to be okay. Maclin, the 1st round pick last year out of Missouri. A guy who's been really effective in the red zone, has 2 of the team's 5 red zone touchdowns. So I'm sure Andy Reid will want to get him back in the flow here as they get closer to the red zone.
Last week in a class act, Michael Vick was very touched by it. Maclin caught the touchdown, came over to Michael Vick and said, here, buddy, this is yours.
It shows you the respect level the entire team has for this guy right now. 1st and 10 after the penalty. Holding in the pocket, a late throw. That one knocked up in the air, intended for McCoy, but off his fingertips. Probably another ball that should have been caught.
Ron, we talk about the rushmen. Well, the rushmen are doing their job, getting to the quarterback. They preach it. It's Aaron Campman right there working on Winston Justice. The problem with these tackles for the Philadelphia Eagles a lot of time goes back to the interior. When you're getting pushed from the interior, it's hard for Michael Vick to step up in the pocket. So sometimes these tackles, Winston Justice, Jason Peters, are being unfairly called out because there's nowhere for Michael Vick to step up when you don't have a firm pocket in the middle.
The end around, that's Jackson. Jackson slides down just shy of the 1st down. You saw Vick out there looking to throw a block. Didn't exactly make contact, but they'll be about a yard shy.
Well, when you've got a guy as talented as Deshaun Jackson, you find ways to get him the football. He's a punt returner, the leading punt returner in the NFL last year. You create ways, you design ways, you put him in motion, you throw the ball to him, you do it on reverses. This guy's too good not to involve in the offense. And offensive coordinator Marty Mortenwig and head coach Andy Reid know that.
They went Macklin to Jackson, end around, 8 yards, a 3rd and 2. Play is stopped.
Philadelphia.
Timeout.
30-second timeout.
Called by the Eagles. For an update on the Rams-Redskins, let's go to Los Angeles and Kurt Menefee.
Washington turning a turnover into points after the rookie Marty Gilliard fumbled. Very next play, McNabb hooking up with Santana Moss. Moss's first score of the year, 21 yards, and what was a 14-0 Rams lead is now a 14-13 St. Louis lead midway through the 2nd. Ron and John.
A quick look at McNabb's numbers through week 2. The big matchup next week, of course, Redskins-Eagles. That'll be exciting. The old coming back to take on an old friend, I guess, 2 old friends, Vick and McNabb. And it's funny because McNabb was actually responsible for bringing Michael Vick to Philadelphia in the first place.
And as if it's not a big enough story, your franchise quarterbacks get traded, but to go within your own division, and he's coming home next week, should be interesting up in Philly.
Mike Bell will get the call. I'm not sure he got it. Let's see where they mark it. It's all on the spot. You see our line there for the 1st down. Looked as though he's shy. Yeah, he's a full yard shy of that one. Kirk Morrison stepped in there and plugged it up. So it's a 4th down, decision time. What do you do, John?
Well, we look at the replay here. And one thing the Eagles have done a good job of is run blocking this year. And Mike Bell, a hammer who I played with in Denver, doesn't get any movement right there. And Kirk Morrison responsible for really stacking that thing up along with Tyson Alu. And what you do, that's what Marty Mortenwig and Andy Reid are trying to figure out. I think right here, if I'm Andy Reid, you've got a weapon like Michael Vick. You've got the run pass option. I think I move him, I put him out there, and I give him an opportunity to go get a 1st down for him.
Right. As you can see, a long yard. And that's exactly what Reid is doing. He's sending in the call right now.
And that's what keeps defensive coordinators, used to keep Monty Kiffin, players like myself up at night when you're facing Michael Vick, is that dual threat. This situation right now, you not only have to worry about the run, them hammering a run. If they do go for it, you got to worry about Michael Vick having the ability to throw or run the football for a 1st down.
And that looks as though what they're going to do right now. So a 4th and 1. Here comes Vick with the call. Eagles 0 for 1 this season on 4th down conversion. Toss to Bell. He makes a cut. 1st down. We'll wait officially for the mark, but it looks as though on that last cut he got it. But let's see where they mark it. Jeff Triplett says my timeout. He wants a closer look.
See, Andy Reid doesn't like the spot that they gave Mike Bell. Jason Peters with a good kick out block It's Russell Allen. And here comes the posse. You know, I really, Andy Reid's one heck of an offensive football coach, but I question not putting the ball in Michael Vick. You've got a weapon like that, not putting the ball in his hands on that fourth down situation.
They're short. They didn't get it. And you said Andy Reid didn't like the spot.
He's got that challenge flag ready to go.
And you can challenge the spot of the ball.
There it goes.
And Reid pointing out, there's the flag.
He goes with a little underhand toss, a little bocce ball toss on that flag.
Philadelphia is challenging the ruling on the field of short on the line of the game.
So by rule, Andy Reid can challenge the spot as it pertains to a first down. Here's another look.
See Peters kick out. Owen Schmidt comes in, but it's Russell Allen who strikes the first blow.
Boy, right there, his whole body is across, but you have to see the ball across. And right now, we're going to go to the Fox Command Center in Los Angeles and bring in former head of officiating, Mike Pereira. And Mike, you just got to look at that play there. It looked like, from our eyes, a apparent first down, but it was marked back. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be really hard to move this based on what we've seen so far. It's in between 2 yard lines, and unless you have a right down the line shot, it can be pretty difficult. Look now, you got to actually get now to the line, and boy, it looks like here that he has crossed, but again, you know, you got to, was the knee down? Where's the first body part that might be down? That's the other thing you got to look at too.
Right. Good
here
point.
we'll get a look at here.
And Mike, also where the ball is.
Might the right knee be down? Pardon me?
And also where the ball is, as you say, when the knee touches.
Yeah, you got to have both. You got to see both things, and that high-level live shot is the one that they're going to probably spend the most time looking at. But again, they might not see a knee in the ground and might not be able to tell at this point. You know, if that ball is still live when it appears to get to the line, I think they probably stay with it.
And Mike, in these situations, as you used to instruct the officials, referees throughout the league, what is it exactly you ask them to look at in this situation to overrule something like this?
Absolute 100% indisputable visual evidence. And those are really so difficult on these spot plays. And remember, even if they move it, if they don't get a first down, even if they move it a slight bit forward, they don't get a first down, they don't win the challenge. This has to become a first down, or Philadelphia is going to lose a challenge.
What you're saying, Mike, they may adjust it based on what they saw, but it may not be enough for the first down.
That's correct. We've seen that happen before. They'll adjust maybe and remeasure, and again, if it doesn't go to a first down, then they're going to lose the challenge.
So we are in challenge mode here, and here comes Jeff Triplett.
Comes the referee.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Philadelphia has charged their third timeout of the half and their first challenge.
Mike Pereira, thank you very much, offering your insight there, and they stay with the ruling on the field, so it is Jaguar ball.
Yeah, and again, I go back. I don't question that Andy Reid challenged that play. I question when you've got Michael Vick out there. This guy is good as athlete that's ever played in this league on a fourth down situation. I believe you're that confident in him, you got to put the ball in his hands and say, go make a play for me. Like I said, give him a dual option where he can run it, where he can throw it. And instead, the Jacksonville Jaguars stand up, and big stop for Jacksonville Jaguars.
So on the fourth down conversion, the Jaguars hold. We review the spot. They stay with the call in the field. They'll take over. Jones-Drew tries the inside. Nothing there. That's Quinton Michael coming down from the safety spot.
You know, Ron, as I studied the Jacksonville Jaguars offense coming into this game, you mentioned earlier, prior to this game, no 3-and-outs. They move the football. They move the chains. They need to find a way to get explosive plays. We saw it from Deshaun Jackson earlier. it's hard to matriculate the ball first down to first down down the field in this league. You got to find a way to get big plays. And they've got possession receivers. I think you got to go to Mercedes Lewis. You got to find a way to get the ball downfield. As you see, the Philadelphia Eagles loading the box, challenging them to do just that.
Jaguars with 3 wides and 1 tight end. That's Lewis. Pressure. The throw nearly intercepted. Jordan almost picked that ball off. He had the pressure along with Sims.
You see good reaction when you diagnose a screen. The first guy there, Ernie Sims, you go attack the quarterback. And whoever diagnoses it, you go search up that running back, Maurice Jones-Drew. Great job of diagnosing the screenplay by Hakeem Jordan.
And John, talking about going down the field with the offense, no receptions yet for Jaguars wide receivers. Now, Lewis has caught a ball, the tight end. But as far as the perimeter guys, they've been shut down. 3rd and long, 3rd and 10. That's the long corner route, and as soon as I say that, there you go, the first reception. That's Mike Sims Walker, led the team in receptions last year. He's working on Asante Samuel. Pickup of 11.
And real nice job by David Garrard, hanging tough in the pocket, buying time for Mike Sims Walker to get to the yardstick, convert a first down. But this is what you see out of the Jaguars, intermediate routes. You see people like Asante Samuel come close to picking that ball off at some point, even for effect. And David Garrard said it, we got to get people off. Throw one downfield just to back the defense off.
1st and 10, they fake the quick draw. That's Thomas. Nice looking play. Thomas out to the 45, maybe the 46. I think they'll leave it at the 45-yard line.
You know, hey, Ron, and you know, they run a quick screen. You're moving the ball, you're moving the ball. But I'm just watching this game, and it's exactly what I would do if I were Sean McDermott, Andy Reid, Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator for these Philadelphia Eagles. I'd load that box up and challenge him, say, hey, I don't believe you're going to go downfield, and if you do, I believe we can make the play.
Especially coming off the heels of a quarterback that's thrown 4 interceptions like Garrard did last week. Hansen and Cole on that last tackle. Pressure. Garrard spins out Michael Vick style. Now he's going for the marker, and he'll get it. A helmet comes off, a flag comes out. A lot of things happened on that play. 1 second before the 2-minute warning.
Personal foul. 77 of the offense. Blow to the head of the defender on the blind side. 15 yards. Still 2nd down.
That's Uche Nwaneri, the right guard.
See him working. At the end of this play on Broderick Bunkley.
Boy,
and right there.
That used to be just a good old peel back block.
It used to be a good old block, and a helmet fell off. Now I guess we got helmet-to-helmet contact on offensive linemen.
I question just how well Broderick Bunkley's helmet was actually snapped on. That's the 1st-round pick back in '06.
And you wonder if his helmet doesn't fly, do they call that a penalty?
Play is stopped. And that's going to be the 2-minute warning.
Is the 2-minute warning.
4-point game. Jaguars looking for some offense. A look at Eagles defensive coordinator Sean McDermott. 2nd year as defensive coordinator after 12 years with the club. Mentored by the late, great Jim Johnson. 2nd and 17. Pulls it out of the belly. The in route tipped coming out. Trevor Law has got a hand on it. The Jags have been pretty good in this part of the field at this part of the game. They've scored 17 points in 2-minute offense this season. That's 2nd best in the NFL, but boy, they sure didn't look like it on that play.
No, you know, and one thing that stands out as you study the film also, 2 of David Garrard's interceptions last week were on tip balls. He's had the ball tipped numerous times today. And the Philadelphia Eagles doing a good job of recognizing that, getting your hands up. If you don't get to the quarterback, get your hands up. Makes a big difference in this league.
3rd and 17. Man-to-man coverage, no place to go. Marker down. And Garrard is down as well. Trevor Laws again. We've called his name quite a bit today.
One of the things Sean McDermott, as we listen to Jeff Triplett.
73 of the offense. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
That's Evan Britton, the right tackle, a loss of 12 and 4th down.
You look at the coverage by Asante Samuel. Squatting on routes, that's what I'm talking about. You've got to back people off. You got to throw the ball downfield. You look at Ellis Hobbs working, and Joselio Hansen, tight coverage. And Trevor Laws, you mentioned, we've called his name a lot. Must be a theme going on here. Sean McDermott, the defense coordinator for the Eagles, said he challenged his defensive tackles that sometimes you have to whoop someone in front of you, and Trevor Laws is doing a good job of doing just that here today.
Podlesh will punt it away to the rookie free agent Calvin. Calvin will have some room. Got a beat 2, he does. Couldn't get away from the 3rd. Squeezes up to about the 47-yard line. Tackled by Jeremy Kane, the long snapper. And earlier, fireworks. The big pass play, 61 yards. Vic to Deshaun Jackson. We've seen that action before. And Kevin Cobb says, yeah, I'll take some of that. Nice job.
You talked to Jack Del Rio before the game. He told you one of his defensive keys was no big plays, no cheap plays to number 10. And what do you see early on? Deshaun Jackson on a deep play. And that young man, I tell you what, the more you watch him, the more you're impressed. He makes this league, which is not, look easy.
Jaguars only able to muster up a 51-yard field goal by perhaps their only consistent offensive weapon, Scobie. And hit just as he threw the ball, Alu. And that forces the incompletion. Don't forget, coming up, the Visa halftime report with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy, with the scores, highlights, and action from around the league, plus a special look at Dallas finally ending that losing streak. No one in New York or Philadelphia will care much about that. And the Giant misery as the Giants lose again, go to 1-2 in the NFC East, 2nd and 10. Pressure, Vic wrapped up but gets it off to McCoy, and McCoy gets just beyond the line of scrimmage. Aaron Campman with the pressure.
Well, Aaron Campman, a huge addition for the Jacksonville Jaguars on every level. Number one, the production he brings to the field. You watch Aaron Campman work against Reggie Wells. And one of the things he talked about is knowing where that quarterback likes to go when he's in trouble. He talked about Vic liking to drift to his right and then stepping up in the pocket. Aaron Campman putting pressure on Michael Vick.
3rd and 8, no timeouts across the middle of the field. That's Selleck. He took a shot. Sean Considine popped him, but Selleck held on. He's checking out. 21 big ones. Clock is running, no timeouts for the Eagles.
Brent Selleck is somebody that they really wanted to involve more in the offense. Only 5 catches coming into today. Getting the ball downfield to Brent Selleck.
That's good.
Ball's up. Man-to-man coverage. No chance. Tried to hit Garrett Mills, the backup tight end. 29 seconds left. And some early game headliners. Look at Adrian Peterson, he got loose. 160 yards rushing, and Matty Ice put it on the undefeated Saints.
You question whether to question the call on the 4th down, but whether to challenge or not. You see no timeouts for the Philadelphia Eagles as a result of challenging that call.
2nd and 10. The long out, and it's complete. That's Macklin. Macklin shaken up earlier, holds on to this one with Rasheem Mathis on the coverage.
And they wind the clock as Rasheem Mathis drives him back.
Yeah, they call him inbounds, and very alertly spiked by Michael Vick. So as my partner just mentioned, no timeouts left for the Eagles. A direct result of that challenge by Andy Reid on the spot of the ball. I'm sure that will be talked about quite a bit in the papers back in Philadelphia this week. It looked as though he had gotten the 1st down, and Andy Reid clearly said he did not like the spot, but second look, they decided to stay with the call on the field. 2nd and 10. 12 seconds, no timeouts. Macklin at the bottom. Jackson up top. Corner route wasn't there. Backdoor, touchdown Eagles. Macklin. No markers, count it.
You talk about Michael Vick, if you call it 2.0. The old Michael Vick, I guarantee, is not hanging back there. He's finding a way to get out of the pocket. He hangs back, he keeps his feet active. As Deshaun Jackson said so eloquently, the play is never over when Michael Vick's at quarterback. Look at, he sets his feet, he buys time, looks right, comes back to his left, touchdown, Philadelphia Eagles.
16 yards, 3rd touchdown for Macklin. And I tell you, you got to talk about the offensive line. As Akers puts the extra point through. Been under a little criticism. A lot of people suggested that the real reason for the quarterback change was the offensive line, some of the issues they'd had up front. But they gave him all the time you could ever ask for right there on that play.
Oh, absolutely. You want time. He gave him time. And you watch the wall that this offensive line sets. You give him a good pocket. Again, I said he looks over to his left. No one's there. He comes back patiently over to his right, eludes the rush of Aaron Morgan, and throws a strike to Jeremy Macklin. And I think Jeremy Macklin said, I'll give you the ball last week. I'm going to keep this one for myself.
Macklin with his 3rd touchdown of the season. And I mentioned a few series ago about his production in the red zone. But you know, it still goes back to one guy, and that's Michael Vick. The energy, the excitement, the Michael Vick experience, as they like to say. You know, love him, hate him, whatever the deal, you've got to respect plays like that and what he's doing for the team.
Yeah, and another thing you got to respect is this guy right here, Kevin Cobb. Very tough week for him. Deshaun Jackson was the first one to point out to us, hey, anyone can say with their words, hey, I'm going to support the team, I'm going to continue to do my job. But what I watched, and this is Deshaun Jackson speaking, I watched his actions this week. He went back to work, he got himself ready to play, he ran the scout team, and he's supporting his buddy Michael Vick. May not like the decision, wants to play, but respects the decision. And when there's harmony at that position, these guys are two good buddies. That reflects and translates to the rest of the team.
They golf together, hang out together, and you talked about it earlier when Andy Reid told Michael Vick of the news that he was going to start him. The very first question Michael Vick asked was, is Kevin okay?
Yeah, and I think that says a lot for
meaning,
the
is he okay with the decision?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Is he okay? Have you told Kevin, is he okay? And interestingly enough, Andy Reid, as we heard on the pregame show today, said the first person he talked to about thinking about that decision was Kevin Cobb. Spoke to him for 2 days. And like I said, Kevin Cobb didn't like it, but ultimately he said, Coach, I respect it, and let's move forward.
4 seconds left. They squib this one away. They barely get on it on time. I'm not sure what they were thinking. Looked like Underwood slowed down, and he was going to wait for it. Ernest Wilford very alertly pushes it out of bounds. Thought it was interesting what Michael Vick told us. I'd never heard this with all the stories that have been going around about what happened, what's transpired over the last 2 years. He said down in Atlanta, he actually considered earlier retirement because he felt so much pressure to have to do everything. He had to be the playmaker.
And now, with the weapons like Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Macklin, he said, I've learned I got to let my teammates help me out. I think it's another sign of his maturation as a person and as a quarterback.
14-3 Eagles. That's the half. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with the Visa Halftime Report coming your way after these.
You don't have anyone else to go to. Todd Bauman was watching DirecTV last week, the Sunday Ticket.
That's
home
right.
in Minnesota. Luke McCown tore his ACL last week. You got to trust David Garrard to try to go make you some plays.
Michael Vick passing and rushing yards at 172. The entire Jags offense at 69 yards. He's outgained the entire team. This is Underwood. Underwood in trouble early. Makes the cut and turned what looked like nothing into a little bit of something. Just gets past the 20-yard line. Bauman just brought in. As you say, John, he was at home watching TV, helping his brother coach high school, but he's been in this system before a couple times. He is familiar with the system, and even though we didn't see him getting a lot of reps on Friday, he's a guy that they feel like they can throw in there in an emergency situation and play quarterback. 38 years old, the backup quarterback. Only 2 quarterbacks active today. Gerard, he's going to do it on his own. Gets the first down and slides down just beyond the 30-yard line.
And one of the things I sensed in talking to Jack Del Rio, Dirk Cutter, their offensive coordinator, in their frustration right now with David Gerard, frankly, is he's not getting the ball out of his hands quickly. At least there, he looked downfield and then made a positive play with his legs. We talked about it in the pregame. This guy, David Gerard, has more yards rushing than anybody in this league at the quarterback position since 2007.
That was good for 11. Toss. Jones-Drew got it going early, turning the corner. That looked like he got up around the helmet. I don't see a marker down. Stuart Bradley on the tackle.
And you know, if you're Jacksonville, you don't need to deviate from your game plan. Their game plan was to come and run right at him with Maurice Jones-Drew, but then you've got to take some shots. Once you play, you run. Set up the play pass and take some shots downfield. Open this thing up. Get your crowd. This crowd's dead. You know, they're talking about Jacksonville not being blacked out. Got to get this crowd into it as well.
Sold out stadium. Pass. Nobody in the area. Pressure there by Brandon Graham. I'm still trying to find out who he was throwing to. And so is Jack Del Rio.
Brandon Graham, a young rookie, the 13th overall pick by the Philadelphia Eagles. They actually traded up 11 spots to take him. They liked him so much. Had his first sack last week in his hometown of Detroit. And they really are high on this young man, Brandon Graham.
The 3rd and short. Pressure. Hit as he throws the ball, and that one almost intercepted twice. Graham was in the area, and Cole's the guy that applied the pressure.
You watch the Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to show all-out blitz and then bluff out. They drop people out, and Trent Cole comes unblocked and puts a nice hit on David Gerard.
Jacksonville's 5th punt of the day on 6 possessions, and Gerard holding his wrist there. But that'll bring on Adam Podlish once again. He's getting a workout today. Doric Calvin is back deep. Podlish drives this one to the sideline. Probably going to go into the end zone. It does, and it will be a touchback. Eagles ball on the 20. 59 yards on the punt. Gerard holding the wrist. Only one healthy quarterback behind him.
Ma'am, can you identify the other airline that charged you bag fees?
That's it. That one right there.
Exactly how much did the other airlines make off with?
It was like $25.
Was that one way or round trip?
Round trip. $50?
Did you have a second bag?
Yes. Was $35?
That's $120 round trip.
I'm a legal courier. If I have to look at multiple cases with BlackBerry Torch, that can have multiple tabs going, scroll over to it, and there it is. I call it a future phone. I use maps if I need to find an obscure address. It's awesome, and it really makes me feel like, hey, this is my city, you know?
This is not acceptable. Bryce in Minnesota, you shouldn't have to get this from Domino's. We're better than this.
When we launched ShowUsYourPizza.com, we asked our customers to be the photographers, and we've been thrilled by the results.
But this, it really gets me upset. I'm Patrick Doyle, the CEO of this company. We're not going to fail. We aren't going to deliver pizzas like this. I guarantee it.
So we're extending our $5.99 inspired pizza deal because we want to see even more of your pizza shots.
We're still listening. We're going to learn. We're going to get better.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By OnStar, safely connecting you in ways you never thought possible. Live on. By Budweiser. Grab some buds and be a part of the Budweiser National Happy Hour on September 29th. And by Fidelity Investments. Turn here.
We're back here in Jacksonville. The Eagles in control of this one. The score may not necessarily reflect it, but if you look at the stat sheet and that man right there, it certainly does. First possession of the second half for the Eagles. And they'll pass it out. In and out of the hands of Selleck.
But look at David Garrard, why he's not having success throwing the football, not getting the ball out of his hand quick enough. And what's that translate? It translates to hits on the quarterback. Now right here, David Garrard can't get the ball out of his hand any quicker. Trent Cole unblocked, putting the hurting on David Garrard today. Great job by this Philadelphia Eagles defense.
The front four, the entire front seven really has made their presence known. 2nd and 10. Play action to McCoy, looking for the out. You know, it's been clean all day long. Not only the time is, oh no, that one's out of bounds. Jackson may have gotten away with one earlier in the game, one that was actually challenged by the Jaguars, but the officials on top of that one saying no catch.
Really a beautiful throw.
I think he relaxed a little too much, got lazy there.
Yeah, I think so. That's when you expect him to be able to drag his feet. Never got that right foot down.
So instead, they're going to look at a 3rd and 10. Steps up, caught, but it's going to be short. No, he picks it up. Was he contacted? That's Macklin. They're saying Macklin was contacted, but very alert is Jeremy Macklin to get up and run with the ball, and Andy Reid is not so sure he was contacted. But if he was, that means he's about 2 yards shy of the first down. They'll have to punt it away.
Really a fantastic catch by Jeremy Macklin. You teach receivers to come back to the football. It's exactly what Jeremy Macklin does. Sean Considine drives the ball.
Boy, he just got him there on the shoulder.
A really good play by Sean Considine, keeping Jeremy Macklin from converting on that first down.
Rocca punting it away. Hangs this one up. And a big hit right in the face. Nice play there by Demetri Patterson. Patterson hustling down, showing why the Eagles last year were #1 in punt coverage.
We need directions to go to
Pear Blossom Highway?
It's just outside of Lancaster.
Sure, I can download directions for you now.
We got it.
Thank you very much.
OnStar ready.
Call home.
Hi, Daddy.
I'm on my way.
Send to car and done. You have one safe destination. Dillon Beach. Would you like those directions now?
Yes, I would.
Go north on Route 1.
Check it out. I can see everything that's going on with the car. Here's the gas level. I can check on the oil. I can unlock it from anywhere.
When I received a signal there was a crash.
Some guy just cut me off.
I'll get an ambulance to you right away.
Looks like our check engine light's on. Can you do a diagnostic check for us?
Everything's fine. Oh, but you've got a loose gas cap.
Safely connecting you in ways you never thought possible. OnStar. Live on.
I'm pretty serious about saving for retirement and all my investments, but it's not something I want to do completely on my own. I like to discuss my ideas with someone. That's what I like about Fidelity. They talked with me one-on-one so we could come up with a plan that's right for me, and they worked with me to help me stay on track, or sometimes help me get on an even better one.
Here you go, Brian.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Fidelity Investments. Turn here.
Fall in love with the new Fox Tuesday.
You don't buy love, you make love.
Well, then let's make that. Consider it my gift to you.
With the new hit, Raising Hope.
You're like a giant baby.
And Running Wild with Will Arnett and Kerry Russell.
I am judging you.
Overruled.
All new episodes Tuesday after Glee on Fox.
Anyone who's played in the National Football League will tell you special teams play is absolutely critical, and Dimitri Patterson doing the dirty work and finishing it off with a strong tackle on Mike Thomas. Great job by Dimitri Patterson from Tuskegee University.
So the Jaguars will go play action on first down, looking deep. Now finds a crosser, and they'll get it at midfield. That's Sims Walker with the reception. And finally, as John has talked about, a big pass play for the Jaguars offense, 23 yards.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. Get the receivers involved. Trust your quarterback, David Garrard. Take the ball downfield a little bit. It wasn't open early. Mike Sims Walker does a great job of extending the play, getting to the second level past Stuart Bradley, and a strike by David Garrard.
Hobbs on the coverage. Quentin Michael coming by to apply the wax. Another play action. Pressure. Sack. Right off the corner. That's Jaquay Parker, and Parker has played well. His 4 sacks now lead the team.
You know, and I bet if you did a stat for sacks per plays, Jaquay Parker would be
the
right
guy
up there. 4 sacks, and he's not playing on a regular basis. You watch Jaquay Parker working against Eben Britton. Goes with the bull rush, gets his hands off him, and finishes it off with a sack on David Garrard.
So a loss of 9 on the play. 2nd and 19. Look for the slant. It wasn't there. That one in danger of being picked off. A big target. That's Mercedes Lewis. But Asante Samuel is there for the tackle.
A very dangerous throw. David Garrard told us when we sat down with him that the guy you always have to be aware of is Asante Samuel. And when you've got a guy who reads quarterbacks, you don't want to throw blind throws across the field. Asante Samuel, as you mentioned, Ronnie, nearly took that back for 6.
Short pickup on the play, 3rd and 16. Eagles firing a backer. The pressure is there. He flips it out late to Jones-Drew, but Jones-Drew may have gone backwards. They throw him across the line of scrimmage. The pressure there by a guy we've talked about all day. Trevor Laws, a 2nd-round pick in 08 out of Notre Dame, and that'll bring up 4th down.
And that's why it's so tough when you put yourself in 3rd and long situations. You've got to get the ball downfield. What's that do? It gives the defensive line time to get to the quarterback. And Trevor Laws, backup defensive tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles, has played an outstanding game. As we mentioned earlier, Sean McDermott challenged those defensive tackles. Trevor Laws stepping up to the challenge.
Hodlish with the kick. Calvin back deep. He'll take it inside the 5. Makes a man miss. He's got a lane. Makes another man miss. And takes it inside the 5 and comes up with a nice return. The guy just traded from Arizona August 30th. Nice looking play. 12 yards on the return, 51 yards on the punt.
It's work through the grime and the muck month. Tow and pull without getting stuck month. Sweat every day to make an honest buck month. And if you're gonna try and do this in anything other than a Chevy, well, good luck month. Great deals on the complete family of Chevy trucks, all backed for 100,000 miles. It's Truck Month. Now buy this 2011 All-Star Edition Silverado and combine the option package discount with other offers for a total value of $5,000. See your local Chevrolet dealer.
Did you know that breakfast was served at Burger King? The ultimate breakfast platter. It's what I call delivering.
Little mailman humor.
The new BK Ultimate Breakfast Platter. That's right, from Burger King.
I am Iron Man. The suit and I are one.
In 2 days, the year's biggest adventure arrives on Blu-ray and DVD. Iron Man 2. Own it Tuesday on Blu-ray and DVD.
When it's planes in the sky for a chain of supply, that's logistics. When the parts for the line come precisely on time, that's logistics. A continuous link that is always in sync, that's logistics. There will be no more stress cause you called UPS, that's logistics.
The Family Guy season premiere has a, wait for it,
Killer in the house?
Killer in the house.
An all-new full hour tonight at 9/8 Central on Fox.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet. Every model is backed by a 100,000-mile, 5-year powertrain limited warranty.
A quick quarterback comparison, Vick and Garrard. Not much of a comparison.
Not much of a comparison at all. Michael Vick clearly outplaying David Garrard.
I'll tell you a guy that's come to play for the Eagles defense, Trevor Laws, has been all over the field. That one breaks clean. That's McCoy. And McCoy switches the football, gets outside, and a great pickup on first down. Now finally brought down by David Jones. Excuse me, John.
Excuse me, Ron. Michael Vick's teams in Atlanta always led the league. We're up high in rushing, and here's why. You get to the spread offense. 91, Derek Harvey. He's got to respect Michael Vick. It opens a big lane. LaShawn McCoy, you have that explosive of back, ends upfield, translates into big yards for LaShawn McCoy and the Philadelphia Eagles.
18 yards. He had his first career 100-yard rushing day last week against the Lions. They'll give it to him again. And I think Andy Reid senses that the Jaguars offense has sputtered and slowed down. He's quite confident running the ball here. That picks up 2. It'll bring a 2nd and 8.
One of the things Michael Vick talked about, I draw this parallel between his maturation off the field to on the field. And one of the things he talked about as a key for this game, playing keep away. Don't turn the ball over. He has not had a turnover this year as the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, as the quarterback.
Impressive stat. 2nd and 8 under pressure. He won't get out of that one. Knighton along with Alu combined with the sack.
We showed you earlier in the back to school, it takes numbers to get Michael Vick on the ground. They bring numbers, Alu, they just kind of corral him. They've got people coming from every direction, and I don't care how good of athlete you are, when you've got Terrence Knighton, Tyson Alu breathing down your neck, it's hard to escape.
That's the 11th sack on Vick this season. That's the most in the NFL, but what that stat doesn't show and account for the amount of great plays and bad plays that he can get you out of. 3rd and 15. Throw, catch. I don't know why Jackson's going backwards. He had the first down easy if he went forward, but he went backward instead. And that's exactly where they mark it.
See Deshaun Jackson in the slot. I circled him before because you could see the blitz coming. Andy Reid talked about it was critical in terms of Michael Vick's improvement to get the ball out of his hand on hot routes. Deshaun Jackson's got to have better awareness right there. Know where the first down marker is and right get there. North and south. And the Eagles coaches are letting him know it on the sidelines.
And he had Selleck right in front of him. He could have just followed Selleck another 2 yards. But instead, that's a 4th and 1. And at this end of the field, Andy Reid says, I don't think so. We're going to give it away. Marker goes down.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still remains 4th down.
Yeah, that's just a mental error there on Deshaun Jackson.
Clearly a mental error. I mean, that's the first thing you're taught in football. You get close to that first down marker. And with the guy, Deshaun Jackson, he's upset with himself right now. But Deshaun Jackson, one of the burdens of being such a gifted athlete is you feel like every play can become a touchdown, but sometimes you've got to know it's right there in front of you. Go get it.
He got lazy with an out, didn't get both feet down. Now this here. He was sprung early in the game in the first quarter with a 61-yard touchdown pass from Vick. That's Rocca. Rocca angles this one out of bounds. Now he shanks one off the side of his foot. And the official keeps walking, and he finally stops at about the 28-yard line. 30.
I'm in a timeout because apparently riding the dog like it's a small horse is frowned upon in this establishment. Luckily, though, I can conceal this bad boy underneath my blanket just so I can get on E-Trade, check my investment portfolio, research stocks, and set conditional orders. Wait, why are you taking... Oh, I see. Hey, Max, would it kill you to throw a guy a warning bark? You know, I wanted a bird.
E-Trade. Investing unleashed.
This Tuesday.
You have 72 hours to get out of the snow from London to Los Angeles.
Come enjoy your night with a genuine rock star.
From the producer of Knocked Up and Superbad.
You cannot outrun me! I am black!
Own Get Him to the Greek, the unrated 2-disc collector's edition this Tuesday.
We gave it a new fully boxed high-strength steel frame and hydraulic body mounts for a comfortable ride. Because the things you carry are even heavier than the things you haul. Introducing the new Silverado HD, our most powerful heavy-duty ever.
John, you talk about unsung heroes on this Philadelphia Eagle defense. Trevor Laws has been in the mix all day long. His numbers read like this: 3 tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, 1 pass deflection, and 2 hits on the quarterback.
Start calling these guys the rushmen too.
Yeah, maybe they need to change the sign outside of their meeting room. 1st and 10. Jones-Drew going sideways. That is never a good sign. It is if you're an Eagles fan. Tonight on Fox, it's the season premiere of The Simpsons, and you won't believe who's coming to Springfield. It's the stars of Glee getting ready for some singing and dancing on the most gleeful Simpsons season premiere ever. Catch it tonight. The only place where it all happens, right here on Fox. Even John Lynch will be dancing and singing to that one.
Oh, yeah.
You got good feet. You got good feet. And Sean McDermott, the Eagles defensive coordinator, he is loving the Eagles defense and their feet. They're making life miserable. See what I mean? That one knocked away by the rookie, Nate Allen.
And you watch this Philly defense, they came down really taking a lot of heat. They've given up more points. You see them on 1st down. This is inspired football. Look at all the hats around the ball. You see Nate Allen on the last play making a PBU. Pass breakup. Akeem Jordan and the Philadelphia Eagles defense came to play today, tired of being the weak link of this football team.
3rd and 15. They block it. Picked off. Guess who? Asante Samuel. He almost got the last one to that side on the last series. And he gets this one. Intended for Mike Sims-Walker. That's his first interception of the season.
Asante Samuel.
As a late marker goes down, John.
Asante Samuel has made a living out of doing that to opposing quarterbacks in this league. We talked earlier about not throwing long throws to his side. He's eventually going to get one. And Asante Samuel, as he has so often in his career, comes through with a big pick.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Intercepting team, number 31 with a group celebration. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's Ellis Hobbs on the group celebration, and that's definitely a no-no, according to the league. But here's a look at the interception.
Well, first of all, it all starts out front. And we talk about Trevor Laws, again, collapsing the pocket. And when you do that and you've got guys back at the cornerback position, like Asante Samuel, those are the results. And Asante Samuel making a terrific play.
9 interceptions last year for Samuel. That put him in a 3-way tie, along with Darren Sharper and Charles Woodson. That's pretty good company.
Real good company.
Mike Bell in the backfield. They won't keep it on the ground. They'll pass. Looking deep. Got a man. Macklin. Touchdown. His 2nd of the day. He beat Jones. Boy, was that easy. 45 yards.
And you talk about Michael Vick and his pocket presence, his ability to throw in the pocket in 2010. A perfect illustration on that play. And Jeremy Maclin, everyone talks so much about Deshaun Jackson that it's really taken Jeremy Maclin out of the limelight. They're playing a little cover 2. Squat corner, and Sean Considine gets beat. You got to be able to get over to the hash, but a perfect throw by Michael Vick, who's playing outstanding football in 2010 for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Touchdowns of 45 and 16 for Maclin, as the extra point is good. The experience is back in Philadelphia.
Good news, sir. I just got an email from the office, and word is people really love our claim service, especially the Auto Repair Express. Repairs are fast and they're guaranteed for as long as you own your car.
Hey, that's great. But is this your phone?
Yeah, of course.
But where do you put... I mean, how do you carry...
Here you go.
Thanks.
No, I got it, sir.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hey, Lawrence, my parents want to talk to you.
Oh, about what?
They don't really think you're an exchange student.
What?
They think you're a businessman using our house to meet new clients in China.
For reals, player?
They overheard a phone call. Something about shipping with FedEx to Shanghai, and then you opened a bottle of champagne.
That was for a science project. I'm late for soccer rehearsal. You and I are cool. I'll be home by curfew.
We understand. You need a partner who can help you go global. FedEx.
Pizza Hut's new Big Italy pizza is big enough to satisfy even their appetites. If only Pizza Hut can do something about their free throw percentage.
Hey.
What? It's bad.
Pizza Hut's new Big Italy pizza is only $12. Almost 2 feet of pizza with up to 3 toppings. Only $12 and only at your Pizza Hut.
A look at the scoring drive, if you want to call it that. One play, one shot. The second touchdown of the day to Maclin. And I guess if you're going to talk about unsung heroes on the defensive side, I think Maclin is a sung hero on the offensive side.
Jeremy Maclin playing tremendous football. All the focus goes to Deshaun Jackson, and these skilled players for the Philadelphia Eagles, young and very bright futures and present.
Underwood out of the end zone, avoids 2. He turns the corner, needs a block, but gets it out past the 30-yard line. Well, the National League pennant race is heading for an amazing finish, and this October, the 4 best teams will collide in a month of games filled with drama, excitement, and thrills to see which team will advance to the World Series. Coverage of baseball's postseason returns October 16th with the NLCS followed by the World Series right here on Fox. A late marker on the play.
During the return. Illegal block in the back. 69 in the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's Leger Douzable.
And that's not a smart play. Taekwon Underwood was already by Leger Douzable, and you don't want to block anyone in the back, particularly when the ball is already past you.
Put it on the ground, a couple inside for NJD. And going back to Michael Vick, 3 touchdowns. The last time he had 3 touchdowns in a game, 06 versus the Dallas Cowboys. He has lit it up today. And if anybody questioned whether or not he had improved in the area of staying in the pocket and throwing the football, well, that should have been answered with a performance here today, and that's Garrard. Garrard will fall about a yard short of the first down. Meanwhile, John, on the other side of the ball, I think the exact opposite for David Garrard and what's expected of him. Owner Wayne Weaver came out this offseason and made some comments regarding Peyton Manning and his work ethic as they line it up here and go for it. That's Drew, and Drew has been going backward a lot. Anyway, getting back to that story, and his point was he was talking about the emphasis and the commitment in the off season that Peyton Manning puts into his team and his work. And we were talking to David Garrard the other day. He said that comment made it clear to me exactly what's expected of me and where I have to improve it.
Yeah, he also added, I wish I could be like Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's one of the greats of all time. But that's a problem. When he's in your division, you've got your owner essentially calling you out for your work ethic. David Garrard has been a successful quarterback in this league, but of late has been inconsistent. And they want more out of him.
Odlesh to Calvin. Calvin dances a little bit. Gets a few. For a Rams-Redskins update, let's go to Los Angeles and check in with Kurt Menefee.
And the Rams, after blowing a 14-0 lead, come back behind Kenneth Darby. He takes it in for a 12-yard score, putting St. Louis back on top of the Redskins 21-16 in the third quarter. Ron and John, Darby in because Steven Jackson out with a groin injury.
All right, so the Rams looking for their first win of the year, and maybe the Redskins went down to St. Louis and maybe thinking about this Eagles matchup they have next week a little prematurely.
Can't ever do that in the National Football League. You get yourself burned.
First and 10. Up 21-3. They keep chunking it. And that's why another catch by Deshaun Jackson. It looks like the old practice 7-on-7 drill, where it's just the wide receivers, defensive backs, no pass rush, and it's pitch and catch.
And watch this throw, the athleticism, the unique ability of Mike off his back foot. He's going to throw the ball 45 yards downfield. Unbelievable throw by Michael Vick. And the Eagles all told us to a man, they like that matchup right there. Deshaun Jackson on David Jones. And they were going to try to exploit it, and they certainly have done that here today.
Jackson over 150 yards receiving. They spread it out now. That's Owen Schmidt.
And that athleticism is not something new to anyone who's watched Michael Vick play much like it. Off the back foot, this one he throws 40 yards in the air versus the Detroit Lions last week. He draws them in. He goes with the old Elway spin move, gets his eyes downfield. He can still hurt you with his legs. Michael Vick has been absolutely phenomenal this year, in the pocket, out of the pocket, playing big-time football.
The last year on his contract, that'll be another issue that will be talked about as the season ends. But pressure backside, he won't get away from that one. Considine, the former Eagle, coming around the corner for the sack. And really one of the first real times today, John, you've seen pressure from the perimeters on Michael Vick.
Yeah, I mean, early on, this Jacksonville Jaguars defense did a nice job of putting Michael Vick under duress. But there, as you said, they bring it off the corner. And Michael Vick, one thing, Ron, you got to wonder, can it last? He has taken an inordinate amount of hits in the 6 quarters preceding this game, and again today, taking big hits. You've got to be more stout as an offensive line and protect Michael Vick if you want him to last through the year.
3 sacks today on Vick. He beats one. That's Selleck. Selleck has some room. He takes a shot, but spins for the first down. Courtney Green came up and rocked him. But he says, yeah, how you like that? And he moves the chain.
Well, Andy Reid's watching his quarterback take a hit. And even though it's 3rd and more than 10, he said it last week, he needs to do a better job of getting the ball out of Michael Vick's hands with the play calls. Well, what do? You dial up, you move the pocket, get him away from pressure, and you give it to Brent Selleck. And you convert on a first down. And Kevin Cobb, he's loving it for his buddy Michael Vick and Brett Selleck as well.
Back to the ground game. How about the way Andy Reid and Marty Mornhinweg, the offensive coordinator, you're up 21-3 against an offense that's doing nothing, and you think most teams would shut it down and start running and get conservative. They come out and start chucking it.
Yeah, you got to attack. And Michael Vick, one of the things he told us, and I kind of raised my eyebrows, you've got Jacksonville Jaguars who live here in this heat. He told us, Ron, we've got to out-tempo the Jacksonville Jaguars in the heat, and they're clearly doing that. You're watching them get in and out of the huddle. They're going up-tempo. They're on attack mode right now, trying to bury a team, which is what you have to do in the National Football League to become a great football team.
2nd down and 8. Vick in trouble. Vintage. Looking house. There it is. Touchdown, Eagles.
Well, we've seen him throw from the pocket, and now we see the Michael Vick that we've seen for years, one of the great athletes ever to play in this game. He mentioned to us, and we mentioned it earlier, sometimes I look downfield and see wide receivers, sometimes I see green. He obviously saw the green right there. And if you're a Philadelphia Eagle fan who maybe was in question of Andy Reid's decision, you got to be liking it right about now.
Andy Reid said there's 3 areas I want him to improve. Set his own protection. Catch the hot read, meaning on a blitz, you got to find the guy that's not covered, and then beat one guy. Well, I don't think he had to improve in that area because he could always beat at least one guy. That time he beat a couple. 6 plays, 72 yards. They started off passing, and it ended up with the Michael Vick touchdown.
And you try to heat him up. You get a little seal there, and Michael Vick not going to go down with an arm tackle, and then he's going to go to work and just put that 4.3 speed to work. Michael Vick talked about him getting back to his old playing weight. He wanted to get down to 205 pounds. He did that the last week of training camp. And ironically enough, I asked him, I said, when did you feel those legs come back? He said, ironically enough, it was against the Jaguars in preseason. I busted out of the pocket. I made a move on one of their guys, and I said, it's back. And it clearly is back.
John, you may have touched on this earlier. One of the things he told us last night is the difference for me this year and past years, I've learned to trust my teammates and let the game come to me. I think that goes back to what we talked about, the pressure he felt in Atlanta to do everything, because for a while, that's what it was. I mean, they had a run game down there for a little bit, but the show was Michael Vick. He doesn't view the game the same way he used to, but yet the numbers are the same.
Well, and I think it's a lot easier to trust your teammates when you got teammates like Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, Brent Selleck, LaShawn McCoy. You've got weapons all around you. He knows that. One of the things he said, I've learned that the ball goes down the field, moves down the field a lot quicker when you throw it. And I said, even with you, Michael, he said, even with me.
They're going to get an offside on Philadelphia here. But how many times have we heard great athletes say, you just got to let the game happen, let it come to you? And here's Jeff.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Kickoff out of bounds. Kicking team.
Well, Jeff will sort this out. Meanwhile, next week, 11 years of ups and downs with the Eagles. Now he's in a Washington Redskin uniform. Donovan McNabb returns to Philadelphia next week to face his old team and the Philadelphia fans. That's kickoff 4:15 Eastern, right here and only here on Fox, and that will be a good one.
You think he gets booed? I've been to Philly. I think he gets booed.
He'll get a lot of
I got booed.
And Jones-Drew going backwards again. Jones-Drew is interesting what he said the other day. 2 years ago in a preseason game playing against the Philadelphia Eagles. After that game, he went up and asked Michael Vick for his jersey just to show you, in spite of all the issues off the field, the amount of respect is still out there for Michael Vick. That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
It's my premiere, and Kanye West is back with a new rap.
Believe in yourself.
Grow a mustache. Get your cleave on.
Boop, boop, boop-a-doop, poop. I'm really not glad I heard that.
The Cleveland Show season premiere tonight after The Simpsons on Fox.
I'm John Belaris, your Weather Authority forecast. When I see you on Monday, go Eagles.
I'm a big fan of Toyota, and I know they're going to offer some great deals. But how can I tell when is really the best time to buy? I need some kind of a sign. Look at that. Where'd that come from?
It's Toyota's Now's the Time sales event, and your time for waiting is over.
Lease a sporty new 2010 Toyota Corolla for just $149 a month or get 0.9% APR financing for 60 months. Hurry in because now's the time.
Looking for a complete picture of your money? Meet PNC Virtual Wallet. It comes with a calendar that shows you all your finances at once. It lets you know when your money's going out and when it's coming in. It even tells you when you're running low. We call that danger days. It's built to help you see your money in a whole new light. Experience everything Virtual Wallet has to offer at pncvirtualwallet.com. PNC, for the achiever in us all.
Ground control to Major Tom. Commencing countdown, engines on. Check ignition and may God's love be with you.
Now, lease a Lincoln MKS for $399 a month or buy it with 0% APR financing for 60 months.
Ron Pitts, John Lynch, and look at the score by quarters. Winning at half, a 7-3 game. But then the Philadelphia Eagles blew it wide open. Macklin, 2 touchdown receptions, and most of you just saw the 17-yard touchdown run by Vick. Now Jacksonville going deep, and they're going to get the flag they look for.
That's what I'm
for Taekwon Underwood, John.
And that's what I'm talking about. You have to take the shots downfield. David Garrard told us the same thing, and Taekwon Underwood is an explosive guy. Now, it's good that David Garrard went right back to him
Pass
last week.
interference, defense, number 31. Automatic first down.
Last week on David Garrard's interception, first interception in San Diego, he threw it out to Taekwon Underwood, underthrew him as well, and Taekwon Underwood didn't compete for the football, but you have to take those shots. Sometimes it turns into pass interferences, and good things happen when you do that as an offense. You have to be on attack mode.
That's Ellis Hobbs. Hobbs shaken up on the play. And Hobbs got popped with a PI, and he's still down. We'll check on him when we come back.
Doc, I just got your email. I'm out for the season?
Don't worry about that. I switched to Sprint's $69.99 plan, so I get unlimited emails.
What does that mean?
It means I'm dropping you for my fantasy team, that's for sure.
What does that mean about my knee?
Oh, your knee's totally shattered. You see how hard that guy hit you?
I don't want to see...
Hey, relax. Not costing me any extra.
Only Sprint gives you unlimited text, web, and calling to any mobile for just $69.99. Sprint, the Now Network.
It's 2010. Weren't we supposed to have time machines by now? I mean, if we at Coke Zero can give the world real Coke taste with 0 calories, why can't science give us an unlimited supply of do-overs?
Man, you dance like a man.
I dance like a man?
What? No,
We've bent the rules of taste. Physicist, isn't it time to bend time?
Da, 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 da.
Well, what do we have here?
Frozen pipes, a classic.
Well put, pretty obvious. Ms. Young.
That's why it's so important as an agent to sit down with our clients so we can get to know them and talk about stuff like this.
Why don't they just turn off the main water supply?
You do realize this is just an exercise, right?
I do now.
Moving on. Okay, let's get the fire retardant suits on.
We are insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Farmers Insurance. We are insurance, we are farmers. By Coke Zero. Taste what's possible. And by DirecTV. Get the best quality picture and sound for your flat screen with DirecTV.
Welcome into the booth, Ron Pitts, John Lynch. We start the fourth quarter here in Jacksonville. It's been all about the Philadelphia Eagles and, of course, about Michael Vick. His numbers are unconscious once again. 289 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's taking care of the football. Jacksonville threatening the score here. There's a shot. No, does not hold on. Ball intended for Mike Sims Walker. And We know that Jacksonville has the ball right now, John, and threatening to score, but go back to Philadelphia. Is it time soon to think about pulling Michael Vick out of this game and maybe putting Cobb in? Sorry.
You know, I think it would be good. Get Kevin Cobb back out there, get him comfortable. The Eagles went out of their way. Andy Reid went out of his way to say we still are very high on Kevin Cobb. We see him as part of our future. They see it as a luxury to have two quality big-time quarterbacks in their mind.
So the missed shot in the end zone to Sims Walker, they'll give to Jennings. Cardinals Chargers update. Let's go to Los Angeles. Here's Kurt.
Well, San Diego in Seattle down 17-0 at one point, but here comes the comeback. Phillip Rivers hooking up with Buster Davis, 49 yards. They don't score on that one. Malcolm Floyd got a touchdown. They've added a safety, and it's now 17-9. San Diego with the ball and moving again. Ron and John.
Check that. Seahawks Chargers update. Chargers with Marcus McNeil, who just signed his free agent tender after the lengthy holdout. 3rd down and 6. Pressure nearly intercepted. Ocilio Hansen right there.
And Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator for these Philadelphia Eagles, he's going for the jugular. You've got a team down. You keep coming after him. That's what he learned from the late, great Jim Johnson. Situational blitzing, but this is the right situation. You have a team down, you come after them. And the Philadelphia Eagles have played tremendous defense. Much documented that they had given up more points than anybody in the NFL, keeping the Jaguars to 3 points today. Outstanding effort by this Philadelphia Eagles defense thus far.
Best field position of the day for Jacksonville, 4th and 6. That one nearly intercepted, and it'll be a turnover on downs. Intended for Wilford. Brandon Graham almost had the pick. The Bluebirds out here in Jacksonville. Meanwhile, the Birds on the other side, quite happy.
See them boys? They got DirecTV. Been watching the Eagles game on their phones and laptops since they got here. No respect for their surroundings.
Ma'am?
Be right there, Shug. Here you go, fellas.
Only DirecTV lets you watch your game wherever you go. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
I've been told to desire a red Italian sports car.
I've been told beige and predictable fit my lifestyle.
We've been told polished status symbols are the goal.
I've been told it captures my essence.
Eggs and ham may not seem like the BK niche, but look at this breakfast ciabatta club sandwich. It tastes so yummy good. Okay.
BK Breakfast Ciabatta Club Sandwich. That's right, from Burger King.
Devin and Gentle hit the gap. C-O-O-M.
Michael Vick, Kevin Cobb, the discussions have been immense all week long. Started with the win against the Lions last week. Head coach Andy Reid said that Cobb would be the guy. Then on Tuesday night, changed his mind. And apparently thus far, he's made the right choice. They'll go to the ground. That's McCoy, tackle by Campman.
And, you know, I think if you're looking for evidence that he made the right choice today, is case in point. Michael Vick's been outstanding all day long, and, you know, really tough decision because Kevin Cobb is a guy who came out And for 5.5 months, they pumped this guy up as the future of this organization. They ran off, they traded Donovan McNabb, who was the face of this franchise, for Kevin Cobb. But circumstances change. And Kevin Cobb's going to be just fine. He's a coveted young man in this league if they were to trade him. But the Philadelphia Eagles, I believe, are going to hold on to him.
2nd and 10, the boot out his left side. And pushed out of bounds around the 20-yard line by Darryl Smith.
And back to my thought with Kevin Cobb, I believe they're going to hold on to him, continue to develop him. Andy Reid, I know people think it's disingenuous, but he says in part he did this to protect Kevin Cobb. And I think you have to understand this is an offensive line that has struggled mightily. And Michael Vick's ability to extend plays, even though he's staying in the pocket more, to extend plays, you have a feeling that he can operate with an offensive line that maybe he's going to take some time to gel this year.
Eagles looking at a 3rd down and 8. Vick sporting a 124.1 quarterback rating. That won't help the rating, but Macklin screaming, what about the interference? That one intended for Jason Avant, and that'll bring on the punt team. But John, by all means, Andy Reid, coming into this game with 119 career wins, a 2-time NFL Coach of the Year, he's got every right in the world to decide when he wants and who he wants to put at quarterback.
Oh, absolutely, and that's the job of a head coach, not to make popular decisions, of any leader, to make decisions that you feel are right for your football team. He made a decision that, I think is popular. After today will surely be popular, but that's not why he made the decision. He made it because he thought it was right.
Mike Thomas. Thomas getting sandwiched. Goes down at about the 37-yard line.
And when I talk about Michael Vick not just being back to where he was, being better, this is one of the reasons. Watch the eyes downfield. He makes a tremendous play spinning out, but he's going to keep his eyes downfield, finds Riley Cooper. This one gets out of the pocket, but again, eyes downfield. He draws the defenders up. Pick your poison, let him run. And if you come up, he's going to find Deshaun Jackson right behind you. That's the dilemma, the conundrum that Michael Vick puts you in as a defensive player. Do I come up and try to stop him from running, or do I sit back and allow him to run? Now he's added the dimension of keeping those eyes downfield, much like Steve Young did at one point, and that's how you become a championship quarterback, not just a tremendous athlete playing the quarterback position.
Looks to be an injured Jaguar down. He's up walking and off under his own power. That's Kasim Osgood. Osgood brought in free agency from the San Diego Chargers, a special teams Pro Bowler. He appears to be okay. And John, on the flip side, it couldn't be more of a contrast right now for David Garrard, who back in 2007 signed a huge contract, 6 years, $60 million. Posted a 102.2 quarterback rating out of 158.3. Remember, had that outstanding playoff game against the Pittsburgh Steelers as they keep it on the ground to Jones-Drew. And at that point, he had just, a few years removed, replaced Byron Leftwich. And at that point, you thought the quarterback had finally arrived here in Jacksonville. And there was new life and excitement. But since that time, I don't know that Garrard has come close to those numbers.
And that's why you have the owner challenging him. You have Jack Del Rio maybe not trusting in him. You got to continue to produce year in, year out. And you watch Maurice Jones-Drew run the football. David Garrard, now the team's going into transition, some transition, undergoing a transition as a younger team. But David Garrard's got to play better football. And there's Wayne Weaver, who really cares about this city, cares about this franchise, have made every effort to sell out games. But in many ways, a team, an organization starts at that quarterback position and ends at that quarterback position. He's not getting the play from David Garrard that he needs for them to turn this program around.
3rd and 2. Garrard trying to turn over the conversion here off the hand of Mike Sims-Walker. Covered by Ellis Hobbs. And they're looking at a 4th down.
The challenge for Jack Del Rio, I guarantee you, if Luke McCown were healthy, he'd be on the field, probably coming out of the second half here today. He tore his ACL last week, and I believe you know, there was going to be a controversy at quarterback position in Jacksonville as well as Philly this week. But Todd Bauman just got here last week. He's coaching high school football in Minnesota. He's not ready to play.
Yeah, McCown tore up his knee on the very last series last week in the loss to San Diego. On 4th down, that's Drew. Jones Drew, and I think he got the first down on the great second effort.
Maurice Jones-Drew, the ball carrier.
Drew was nursed a bad ankle all preseason long and all through the top of the season here. He's able to convert.
You talk about players you respect in this league. There's talent, and he's immensely talented, but there's will. Sometimes you're going to get hit. You got to fight for yardage, and that's what Maurice Jones-Drew. Tremendous balance. He's got all the physical abilities, but you can't measure that heart. And he's got an extremely big heart, and if they could get more people playing with that same kind of will as Maurice Jones-Drew, they'd be in good shape.
Back to Drew, and he's got another nice run. A late over the top there by Winery. Quentin Michael finally brings him down. The marker goes down, and they may catch Winery on that over the top. So we'll wait for Jeff Triplett. Here he is.
After the play is over and the first down, dead ball, personal foul, 77 of the offense. Piling on, 15-yard penalty. It'll be a first down.
In case you're just tuning in, it's been all about the Philadelphia Eagles here in the second half. It was a 7-3 game at the half, but the Eagles have poured it on here in the second.
And I'll tell you, as a player, as a safety, there was no tougher player for me to tackle than Maurice Jones-Drew. The old adage in football, low man wins. You can't get any lower than that guy. He's 5'7". He's going to win that battle every time. And when you do try to go low, Quentin Michael just learned he's going to run you over.
5'7". He's got a blink, and he's at 5'4". Rashad Jennings checks in. First down pressure. Another sack. 4th sack today on David Garrard.
Garrard is sacked by number 58, Trent Cole.
Ron Pitts, John Lynch. Ominous skies here in Jacksonville. It's threatened rain for most of the day, but nothing ominous about the way the Jaguars have played on offense. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Eagles have been everything as billed, and especially their trigger man, Michael Vick. He's come to town and delivered what they asked for.
He's been absolutely outstanding. Still has yet to turn the ball over this year. 3 more touchdowns, 2 to Jeremy Maclin, 1 to Deshaun Jackson. Nearly flawless execution for the Philadelphia Eagles on all sides of the ball.
Garrard on the ground. Moves up to about the 44-yard line. Vick, 16 of 30, 289 yards, 3 touchdowns. And the man has gone, what is remarkable to me, has gone 3 games now, John, without a turnover.
And that's, you know, I think you talk about the maturation off the field. He spent 18 months in Leavenworth. He talked about that experience and how it made him grow up. He had to do it the hard way. But I think that maturity off the field's translating to on the field. He's playing keep away. He's taking what the defense gives him.
5 sacks on the day by the Eagles. That's Trent Cole.
Garrard sacked by number 58, Trent Cole.
Look at the quarterback pressure. Jaquay Parker, Darryl Tapp, Trevor Laws, Ernie Sims. They've been all over him. They rotate their D linemen. They rotate who's bringing pressure, but they brought consistent pressure and made life miserable for David Garrard and the Jacksonville Jaguars offense.
So the Jags will punt it away. Podlesh deep. Dart Calvin. He'll let this one sail, and it will sail into the end zone for a touchback. 63 yards on the punt. The Michael Vick Show will continue here in the 4th quarter.
Down Download NFL Mobile only on Verizon and get live NFL games and NFL Red Zone. Now everything football is everywhere. Get the NFL with NFL Mobile. Rule the air. Verizon.
This isn't just a pizza. This isn't a pizza.
This is someone's dinner.
This is your kid's favorite night of the week.
This is more one-on-one time with your daughter.
This will make the best sleepover ever.
This is the reason folks show up to your budget meeting.
This is how you guarantee a second date.
This is what you're looking forward to after a long day.
Because we don't just make pizzas. We make your favorites.
And we never forget that.
Because my favorite thing
My favorite thing?
is serving you.
Your favorites.
Your favorites, your Pizza Hut.
I'm done with airline credit cards promising 25,000 miles of flight, only to be told
There's nothing for 25, but they will let me give you the same seat for a big miles up charge. How's that sound?
for that many miles we'll be stuck taking a staycation. I'm through playing games. I switched to the Venture card from Capital One. Vacation, here we come.
Don't pay miles up charges. Don't play games. Get the flight you want with the Venture card at CapitalOne.com.
Now this is a vacation.
What's in your wallet?
Only one name can cause such a Glee sensation. Britney. Horror. All new Tuesday at 8/7 Central on Fox.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL.
Jackson DeVille, the Jaguars mascot, giving you a summary of how the day has gone for his Jaguars. So Michael Vick will stay in the game. He is at 289 right now. And all they got to do is just keep throwing the ball if they choose to. That's McCoy. McCoy turning the corner. Impressive run, boy. This kid makes people miss. And stayed in bounds, showing he's got a little bit of a little savvy there in his second year in the NFL, keeping the clock running.
And Andy Reid mentioned to us one of the things he wanted LaShawn McCoy to focus on this offseason was strength. He went down with too many arm tackles, and right there you see an illustration of, number one, his vision and cutback ability, but number two, the strength he did put on. Arm tackles are not going to bring him down anymore. He's running strong and is another weapon, young weapon for this Philadelphia Eagles offense.
An area, John, that I see this kid really impressive is blitz pickup. On the film we watched, he steps up and puts his helmet right in people's chest.
Philadelphia.
Timeout called by the Eagles. 7 minutes to play here in Jacksonville.
I love this Miller Lite aluminum pint.
Oh, really? Why do you love it?
I love its wide mouth. I love its resealable cap. I love that it's a pint. I love that great Pilsner taste.
Okay. Why do you love me?
And when we go out, and then I like what you're doing with this. You know, I love all your teeth.
The aluminum pint from Miller Lite. Just one more way to love the taste of your beer. Taste greatness.
Why do you love me?
You're my soulmate.
Ditto.
I am Iron Man. The suit and I are one.
This Tuesday, bring home the movie that's a total blast. Robert Downey Jr. is better than ever.
Oh, it's good to be back.
Iron Man 2 is spectacular.
I want one.
No.
Iron Man 2. Own it Tuesday on Blu-ray and DVD. With a digital copy of the movie you can take anywhere.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to exit the donut.
The contrast of infinite black. The clarity of fast-switching phosphors. The smoothness of 600 hertz. All come together to create what CNET calls one of the best 2D TVs they've ever tested. See what amazing looks like. The Viera Full HD 3D TV from Panasonic.
Fox tomorrow. House and Cuddy go public.
I'm seeing Cuddy.
Really?
For reals. Foreman can translate.
And to save one life, give me some kind of hope. Will House sacrifice another?
You don't get to play God.
We do it every day.
All new House tomorrow at 8/7 Central on Fox.
And I don't know, Jackson DeVille, you saw this earlier, a chance of lightning, thunder, You're up in these skies here. I lived in Florida. Not too smart, Jackson DeVille. Very courageous, I guess.
I understand, Jackson. No more airtime. We'll check with your agent first. First and 10. McCoy on the ground. Interesting what Andy Reid told us last night in preparing that there might be a chance that the team would acquire Mike Vick a couple years ago, and Andy went together and went to his drawing board, so to speak, and started putting things together, a bunch of different plays and ideas, one of those, what do they say, just in case things happen sheet.
Well, he said, first of all, this is back to prior to the 2009 season. He didn't jump at the opportunity. He has long been intrigued by Michael Vick, but he followed his situation closely because his own two sons had their issues and went through their incarceration. You watch Vick hand the ball to LaShawn McCoy. But he said, having followed the situation, he followed it. He wanted to see how Michael Vick was responding. In training camp, he went to his owner and he said, what would you think? And he said, meanwhile, I had already drawn up 400 plays at his beach house in California on his 2-week vacation. You know, and I think back and really you start to see, not that Kevin Cobb was doomed. I think Andy Reid and this team really believed in Kevin Cobb. But you look at the first play of this season, they had Kevin Cobb on the field, but you know who was there too? Michael Vick. He was out there playing wide receiver. But I think Andy Reid, the impression I got, he's long been intrigued by the opportunity to work with Michael Vick, and he has it now, and it's special.
3rd and 4, they'll come up short, and this is that play that John Lynch is talking about week 1 against the Packers, first play of the game.
And he looks like he's the quarterback right here in the huddle, right at the middle of it. Gonna line up there. They're going to use him as a decoy. Maybe a little foreshadowing of things to come for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2010.
Hey, in spite of what went on off the field, Andy Reid looked at it as one situation, and that's a guy that can help this organization win. From the very start, that's what it's been about. So denied on the 4th down, or on the 3rd down. On 4th down, they'll punt it away. Thomas, he's handled the punt return duties most of the day. He's going backward, and he will shut it down around the 12-yard line. 47 yards on the punt, no return. And a quick look at the game summary. The big play early on, Deshaun Jackson from Michael Vick, 61-yard touchdown strike. And really nothing happening for Jacksonville. The only thing they're able to muster up through the day, the 51-yard field goal by Josh Scobie. Meanwhile, Jeremy Maclin, he jumps in on it. 2 touchdown catches, 16 yards, 45 yards, and Michael Vick tagging it with a 17-yard touchdown run.
As you see the run to Maurice Jones-Drew, you talk about nothing going for this Jacksonville offense. 26 total yards passing. It's a franchise low was 31 yards back in 2004 versus the Houston Texans. That's not going to get it done in this league. And Jack Del Rio, you got a situation on your hands with this offense, and you got to somehow instill confidence in your quarterback and get this thing back on track. Now, it's a long season in front of you, not to say that it's done, but the way it looks today, it looks uninspired. It lacks juice. It lacks energy. You've got to get some things going, or it's going to be a long year in Jacksonville.
2nd down and 6. Throw complete. That's Mercedes Lewis, but Lewis is going to be shy of the 1st down. And John, going back to your point, you look down the road here now, it's not going to get any easier by any stretch of the imagination. They have Indianapolis here at home next week. Then they'll go to Buffalo, then back against Tennessee. So, 2 games there in the division out of 3 weeks.
Tough road ahead, and this division is always tough. And now you've got Houston playing the way they are. It's a tough division for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jags looking at a 3rd and 1. Eagles bring the safety up, expecting the run. They get the run, but can't slow down Maurice Jones-Drew, and he'll pick up the 1st. Meanwhile, the Eagles, their schedule looks like this. Everyone knows about the big game next week in Philadelphia against the Washington Redskins. That's a 4:15 p.m. kick right here on Fox. Then they go to San Francisco. They'll have Atlanta at home. Out to Tennessee. That's always a trap kind of game, a tough game, I should say. Then the bye week.
Tough road for them as well, and it starts next week with Washington. You know Donovan McNabb's going to be inspired coming home to the place that he called home for a long, long time in his career.
Jennings checked in. That ball is tipped on the backside. Around the corner, Trent Cole. Boy, Trent Cole coming into the game with 48 career sacks. Today he's got 2 sacks, getting his hand on that ball there.
You watch him go against the second-year player in Eugene Monroe. He's going to bluff him inside and go around the corner. And David Garrard has to step up in the pocket, help his tackles out, but Eugene Monroe needs to do a better job of giving David Garrard some time.
And maybe we'll see Kevin Cobb after all. Grab the ball, warming up a bit. The draw to Jennings. And in spite the bad ankle, not a bad day for Maurice Jones-Drew. He was able to muster up some kind of running game. 22 carries, 88 yards, but Cobb definitely preparing as though he's coming into the game.
And as we see Kevin Cobb, back to Michael Vick here for a second. You know, Ron, one of the things I know a lot of people have a hard time forgiving him for what he did that got him in the trouble. As we watch this play with
Garrard finds a man across the middle of the field. That's Kasim Osgood. And that's the 2-minute warning. Jana will continue that thought when we come back. 28-3 Eagles.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by AT&T. Rethink possible.
In every friendly little competition, there's a winner and a loser. A runner-up. Second best. The one who fell a bit short.
Thank you.
Something our friends at BMW are feeling once again.
Hello, excuse me, I'd like an Egg McMuffin and
Hello?
I said an Egg McMuffin and a large cup of coffee.
Can you just say that one more time, please? Did you say an Egg McMuffin and a large coffee?
With cream and sugar, please.
It says turn right. It says you like soft rock.
It says you like cool jams.
I do like cool jams.
It says you're not real. Sorry.
It says Mackenzie Ellard got that exact same dress.
It says it's the second switch. All right.
AT&T feels everyone should have access on the go, so we're making mobile broadband more affordable. Introducing new smartphone data plans starting at only $15. AT&T, rethink possible.
Goodbye, Dots. Hello, Video. Sign up and play the first fantasy game with video. New at NFL.com.
A look at Michael Vick and his numbers, and John, we were talking about this. You know, like him, dislike him for what happened in the past. The guy has done everything he can possibly do to make amends for what went on in the past, and he's trying to show that on and off the field. 2nd and 5. Pressure on Garrard. That's nothing new. Boy, he put a nice move on Laws. Laws is going to laugh about that in the meeting room on Monday, but it looks as though he picks up the first down.
And to pick up on your point, Ron, one of the things he told us that I was very impressed, he said, listen, I understand people are still upset with me. I'm trying to make amends. I can't change the past. I can only make an impact going forward. And he spoke of the commitment that he made to people, specifically his mom, Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the National Football League, and my old coach, Coach Dungy, Tony Dungy, who stuck by him, he said, when things were rough for him, and they stuck by him, and that he wants to make good on that commitment. And I got to tell you, I got chills when I sat there with him, because I saw a man who has been rehabilitated, who really wants to change and has matured a great deal, and I was very impressed with the time we spent with Michael Vick.
Vick being pulled on this one. Most likely he won't come back in if they go back on offense again. We just saw Cobb warming up. This is a 2nd and 11. That one tipped and incomplete. Let's go to Los Angeles for an update. Colts, Broncos. Here's Kurt Minifie.
Both Pierre Garçon and Anthony Gonzalez out with injuries. No problem for Peyton Manning. He finds Austin Collie 171 yards and 2 touchdowns receiving for Collie. Indy leads Denver 27-13. Less than 2 minutes to go. Ron and John.
And Kurt, my thoughts and prayers go out to the Denver Broncos and Kenny McKinley, the receiver that they lost, the 3rd player they've lost in about 3 years. Tough times for the Denver Broncos. As important as these games are, that's, I'm sure, is not what is on their hearts here today.
A very tough week for the Broncos indeed, and there's a sack around the outside, Jaquay Parker, but a penalty might have been on Parker. He might have got an early jump.
Offside. Defense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Parker with 8 sacks last year. That was 2nd on the team. Coming into today's game, the leading sack man. Had a big 4th and 1 stop in that game last week against Detroit. There they pop him from coming up a little bit early.
A little bit.
Just a little bit
Those
early.
D linemen, there's blood in the water. They're trying to feast. They're trying to get more sacks, put that on their resume. Guy's playing hard today.
3rd down and 6. That's going to be a 1st down. That's the backup tight end, Zach Miller. I think to wrap up your point, John, about everything that's gone on and talked about Michael Vick, you go back to Andy Reid, and it's clear it's all about winning games. And they didn't just talk about it. As you see the sack there, and talk about exclamation point, that's Nate Allen, the rookie out of South Florida. Didn't just talk about it. Andy Reid went against a lot of people's wishes, a lot of people's hopes, put the man on the field, and he did it because I think and I believe he can win for us, and they proved it.
Well, and you know Andy Reid as well. You know, whether you like him or not as a head coach, he's been very successful. Second of all, he's a good man, and he's very proud of Michael Vick as well for what he's been able to do and the comeback he's made off the field as well as on it.
That's Underwood, and that will be academic. And Michael Vick will put another one up for the Philadelphia Eagles. So the Eagles will go to 2-1, 28-3 the final. We'll be back to wrap things up here in Jacksonville right after these messages.